20%. Chapter 121 Armor Refining. Coming to the back mountain of the Lin family. The Lin family has grown a lot in these years, and the Baixiang mountain has also become lively, and even many mortals have begun to settle in the Baixiang mountain. In order to control the population, Lin Qianlong has already separated some people to go to Lian Valley and settle down there. Even the small village that used to provide meat for the Yan brown tiger has now grown to a population of 10,000 or 20,000, which is already quite large. In an immortal cave in the back mountain, this is the earth fire room that the Lin family has just built over the years. It can receive earth fire. This earth fire room was built for the purpose of refining magic armor. At this moment, there are 4 people in this earth fire room: Patriarch Lin Qianlong, 3rd tier middle rank formation master Lin Xuanjia, 3rd tier lower tier refiner Lin Xuancheng, and 3rd tier top tier refiner Lin Haoyang. In order to refine these 10 sets of magic armor, the Lin family can be said to be mobilizing the whole family. Lin Haoyang stroked the black gold stones. Thinking of the magic armors he had seen in the Chongshan Tower, he was excited. With his current refining technique, the 3rd order magic armor cannot be refined, but the 2nd order magic armor should be no problem. The most difficult part of refining magic armor is to integrate the formation pattern into the armor. This is also the most critical step in refining magic armor. Resonance between the magic armors will automatically stimulate the formation in the armor and provide an increase for the cultivator. Xuancheng, have you thought about what formation to integrate into? Lin Qianlong asked. Lin Xuancheng thought for a while and said, these ebony stones only have 2nd order high grade, 10 sets of magic armor combinations, and at most one can form a 3rd order low grade formation, but if these 10 people assemble one formation by themselves, it is equivalent to 2 sets of formations. If these 2 sets of formations are offensive and defensive, even the foundation building early stage cultivator will find it hard to help them. Quote. Listening to this, Lin Qianlong's eyes brightened. If it is normal, 10 pulse condensing cultivators can spur a 3rd order formation at most. They are usually formations that choose defense systems, and they can barely hold the foundation building cultivator. If you cooperate with the magic armor, you can have the capital to fight the foundation building cultivator. The meaning of this is far different. Because the magic armor itself is not weaker than the 2nd tier high grade defensive magical item, so the formation I chose is a 3rd tier low grade fire element burning silence array. Lin Xuanjia said. Lin Haoyang listened. Although Lin Xuanjia said nothing wrong, he always felt that something was missing. The magic armor he saw last time seemed to have a formation inscription. It doesn't need a few sets of cooperation to activate it, and it can independently enhance the cultivator's various abilities. Or a few sets of cooperation can give play to a stronger strength. This kind of magic armor is the foundation of the top powers. Legend has it that the Azure Cloud sect also has such a magic armor army, but this magic armor army is the most important trump card of the Azure Cloud sect. If it is not for the crisis of extinction, it is impossible for the Azure Cloud sect to use this force. The Azure Cloud sect's armor army, when combined, will not be weaker than the nascent soul cultivator, which is one of the reasons why the Azure Cloud sect can stand upright. Because of the power of the magic armor, the raw materials that can refine the magic armor, the combination of the depiction, and the pattern are extremely precious, and basically they will not be passed on. This time I went to the Chongshan Tower. I was fortunate enough to see a magic armor. That magic armor should have reached tier 4. I look at its rune. It should be a separate rune array, that is to say, a single magic armor. Can strengthen the cultivator, Lin Haoyang said. After hearing Lin Haoyang's words, everyone was slightly shocked. Each magic armor can strengthen the cultivator. This definitely requires a special refining technique, but this method cannot be spread out. Lin Xuanjia's face sank, which made his original conjectures all burned, and felt a little lost in his heart. Although we don't know what kind of rune construction can make a magic armor amplify itself, we can practice all the components of the magic armor into magical items, so that these magical items can resonate with themselves, and the effect should be similar. Lin Haoyang said again. As soon as Lin Haoyang said this, Lin Xuanjia was ecstatic on his face. He is a tier 3 formation master and is very familiar with this kind of combination formation. If Lin Haoyang said so, it is really possible to achieve it. In his mind, there happened to be such a set of formation, which happened to be the current situation. It's just right, I know a set of mother-child serials, just to try out the current situation. Lin Xuancheng said. Hearing what Lin Xuancheng said, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed and said, "What formation?" Lin Xuancheng glanced at the 3 of them, and finally said, The letter chain is an offensive formation. It originally required 9 people to mobilize together. No one is equivalent to the sub-array. Together, it becomes the mother array. The power of the mother array does not lose to the third-order inferior formation. The sub-array can enhance the cultivator's soul power, and the mother array can be transformed into a flying sword, the power of a sword, comparable to the foundation-building early-stage cultivator. Quote. After listening, everyone's eyes brightened. This kind of formation is indeed suitable for the current situation. In the end, everyone agreed to use this formation. After deciding on the formation to be carved into, Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuancheng began to refine the parts of the magic armor. Wujin Mine is different from other materials. It has a strong resonance. Only in this way can one set of armor and the rune carved into each set of armor be effective. With Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuancheng 2 Tier 3 refiners here, it is of course very easy to refine these Tier 2 top-grade armors. Refining a set of armor requires refining the head, chest, back, shoulders, wrists, legs and other parts, which is a bit cumbersome. This is why cultivators rarely wear armor. Since the armor is relatively heavy, cultivator fighting skills are easy to suffer. Therefore, the general cultivator either chooses the defensive magical item or the defensive inner armor. In the process of fighting demonic beasts, the main battle scenes of the human race faced countless demonic beasts. In this case, armor that can protect in all directions is the first choice. Therefore, at the front line of the Sword League, there has always been an armored army composed of cultivators, and the combat power of this group of cultivators is difficult to defeat by ordinary cultivators. After Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuancheng trained into the armor, before the armor was completely finalized, Lin Xuanjia inserted the rune that was originally carved into each armor component. And Lin Qianlong will take care of it, and if something unexpected happens, he will solve it. Lin Haoyang is a third-tier high-grade craftsman, first completed a set of armor, and a set of light armor was suspended in the fire. At this time, Lin Xuanjia stepped forward, holding several jade charms large and small in his hand. This was a rune he had prepared. Lin Xuanjia made a move, and the light armor moved towards him. At the same time, he smashed the jade slip in his hand, and the runes carved in advance floated in the air. Lin Xuanjia moved both hands together, controlling the rune seal to all parts of the armor, hesitating that the armor had not completely solidified at this moment, and the refining device could not be said to be completed. After all these runes were printed on the armor completely cooled down. As the Wujin Mine cooled, these runes were also branded inside the armor. Due to the good resonance of Wujin Mine, although these runes are not together, they can indeed complete the connection by the resonance of Wujin Mine, thus urging formation. After finishing a set of black gold armor, Lin Qianlong made a move, and the armor fell into his hands. Lin Qianlong drew out a wave of spirit power and introduced it into the Wujinjiao. In an instant, the runes scattered around the Wujinjiao all lit up. Despite the lighting of these runes, an increasing effect enveloped Lin Qianlong. For Lin Qianlong, this effect was insignificant. However, the power of this increase falls on the coagulation cultivator, and I am afraid it can increase the 30% spirit power of the coagulation cultivator itself. This increase is not to increase the total amount of spirit power, but to increase the strength of spirit power. In other words, wearing this set of magic armor will increase the attack of a cultivator by 30%. Everyone looked at Lin Qianlong solemnly. Lin Haoyang was also extremely nervous, afraid that this refining would fail. They didn't have too many black gold mines to experiment. Finally, Lin Qianlong smiled on his face and said, "The pulse cultivator can probably enhance the spirit power by 30%. 20%. Chapter 122. Re-entry Zheng Country. Hearing Lin Qianlong's words, Lin Haoyang and others were overjoyed. A black gold armor can increase the cultivator's soul power by 30%, so his value should be around 1,500 spirit stones. If it is a set of 9 pieces, then his value should be around 20,000 spirit stones. This is still theoretical, because no one will sell such a treasure at all, unless there are special circumstances like Lin Haoyang and others. There will be magic armor circulating outside." After finishing the first one, everyone was excited, and immediately began the refining of other magic armors. After half a month, the 9 sets of magic armors were finally completed. Together with the 9 sets of magic armors, it is easy to use the third-order formation letter chain. These 9 people have the capital to fight the foundation-building cultivator. Lin Haoyang looked at this set of magic armor, very happy in his hand, even a little reluctant to exchange it for spiritual rice, but now that the form is forced, they have to make such a decision. In addition to the 9 sets of magic armors, the Lin family now has 3 foundation building pills, 5 top-grade spirit stones, and 100,000 Qingyunzong's low-grade spirit stones. Of these 3 foundation building dans, 1 was taken out by Lin Haoyang, and the other 2 were kept privately by Lin Qianlong. At the beginning, the Lin family seized a Tier 4 demonic beasts and made a furnace of foundation building dans. How could he not expect Xiao Yi to be greedy for ink, and finally took back 4 of them? 2 of them had already been taken by the disciples of the clan, and Lin Qianlong had been hiding these 2, and he would take them out when the time was right. Because he feels that the Lin family has developed too fast in recent years, and it is too simple to get the foundation building dan. At present, no one among the tribe has enough merit to convince these 2 foundation building dans. Finally, Lin Haoyang said before that this foundation building pill should be used for spiritual rice. As for the 2 for Lin Xuancheng, Lin Haoyang persuaded him for a long time before Lin Xuancheng agreed to accept it. Originally, Lin Xuancheng rejected the excuse that he was old and no longer suitable for taking foundation building pills, and wanted to leave the own piece to the younger children of the clan. However, Lin Haoyang couldn't stand the soft and hard foam, and received 2 foundation building pills and a rejuvenating blood ginseng. These days, due to the delay in refining the magic armor, Lin Haoyang bid Lin Xuancheng closed door as soon as the magic armor refining was over. Training: first take blood ginseng, and then use foundation building dan breakthrough realm. After the Lin family practiced the magic armor, the preparations were basically completed, so Lin Qianlong sent a letter to let people from the other 3 families dare to come to the Lin family to discuss the matter of raising spiritual rice. The Lin family now has 47 Qinglin horses, 9 Tuotian beasts, 5 earth dragons, 4 floating cloud beasts, and 2 white armored elephants. In addition, these cultivators bring more storage bags, so it is not a problem to transport 900,000 caddies of spiritual rice at a time. 2 times down is 1.8 million caddies of Ling Mi. Coupled with the 2 own output, it is completely enough to supply the spirit rice of the Azure Cloud sect. And the place they are going this time is Zhengguo, who Lin Haoyang has visited once. Zhengguo made his fortune earlier than Wu Guo. Now he is no longer bordering demonic beasts. These thousands of years have accumulated a lot of wealth, and the 6th will appear faintly. The momentum of rank forces. The 4 major sects of the Zheng kingdom, Lin Haoyang and the others went to the Dong sect instead of the most powerful Wangji sect this time. The Dong sect originated from a large river, and the territory is mostly lakes and rivers, which are very suitable for the growth of spiritual rice. There are as many as 10 or 20 treasures in its territory, like Hongyu Lake. In some places, it is more than 10 times better than Hongyu Lake. Such a geographical advantage is good and bad. The good thing is that Dongzong produces more than tens of millions of caddies every year, which supplies Zheng's 4 major sects. However, such an environment also made the resources in the East River sect very scarce. The mineral resources of spirit stones are only less than 1/3 of the Wangji sect. In this way, the Dong sect is the weakest among the 4 sects of Zheng, but it cannot be regarded as the poorest. The Dong sect needs to use a lot of spirit stones every year to purchase cultivation resources from the other 3 sects. Over the years, the Dong sect has already lost a lot of spirit stones. It was for this reason that Lin Qianlong dared to take on this task. 1 month later, the 3 major families rushed to their neighbors. More than 60 camel beasts made the Lin family more lively than ever. In order to settle these camel beasts, the Lin family set aside a mountain to house them, and this mountain is called the Spirit Beast Mountain. The manager of the Spirit Beast Mountain is Lin Xiaowen, who is naturally close to demonic beasts. Since she returned from Yanggu, Lin Haoyang has asked him to follow Ku Temple to learn the way of imperial beasts of Qingyun School. For this reason, Lin Haoyang has also given this as the annual gift of 1,000 spirit stones in the temple. This time I went to Dong sect. The 3 houses of Beiliu and Ma sent 2 foundation building cultivators and 30 condensing cultivators, and these 30 condensing veins are all experts in each house, and there is basically no early stage of condensing veins. Bai Zonkang and Bai Sixian came from the Bai family, Lu Shukun and Lu Yuzhong from the new foundation building came from the Lu family, and Ma Jingde and Ma Tianxin came from the Ma family. As the main family, the Lin family has the most manpower. In addition to Lin Qianlong, Lin Xuanjia, and Lin Haoyang, Lin Xuanjing, who was stationed in Pingyang City, was also recalled, and that is, when she came to Ku Temple from Qingyunzong, she would also go there. In addition, the Lin family will also send out 50 cultivators. It can be said that the Lin family is very talented this time. There are two foundation building cultivators, Lin Xuanlu and Lin Xuanyu, guarding the family. However, Baixiang Mountain has a fourth order formation and two foundation building cultivators are guarded by them. It is difficult for ordinary golden core cultivators to break into the Lin family. As for Lian Valley, since the two flame brown tigers successfully stepped into Tier 3, Lian Valley's defenses have been greatly enhanced, which is equivalent to having two foundation building cultivators stationed in them all the time, but the Lin family is not worried about Lian. The safety of the valley. When the personnel arrived, the Lin family had no mother-in-law, so they began to rush to Donghazong mightily. Lin Haoyang had been to Wangjazong once. At that time, he was already in the foundation building and could walk with swords, but with a large group of men and horses, they could only travel from land. This time, I am afraid it would take a lot of time. 5 earth dragons walked in the forefront under the control of Ku Temple. Under their hooves, a path immediately appeared. Floating cloud beasts stood in the air and looked around. The last one was the Qinglin horse with the largest number. If you foresee anything, no, these speeds are so fast that Qinglin Ma can escape as fast as possible. Dong sect is adjacent to Wu Kingdom. Starting from Lin's family, it is closer than Yekwanfang City where Lin Haoyang went last time, and the distance is about 80,000 miles. But at a distance of 80,000 miles, everyone in the Lin family also walked for 3 months before they came to the territory of Dong sect. People of the size of the Lin family, of course, couldn't hide from the high level of Dong sect. Soon, the golden core cultivator of Dong sect came to them. Seeing that there are many water systems in the Dong sect, Lin Haoyang flashed some thoughts. If he could build a river directly to Lin's house, it would be great to save a lot of transportation losses. There are many rivers and lakes in the Dongzong, and the roads are not easy to walk. In order to transport the Ling rice, the Dongzong relies on water transportation, relying on boats, which can save a lot of transportation costs. However, it is impossible for the Qingyan sect to agree. The Dong sect is short of resources and has been watching the Qingyan sect's resources for a long time. If the waterway is opened, the Dong sect's energy can be continuously mobilized. By then, I am afraid that the land reclamation war has not yet started, and the civil strife between the two cases has already started. 21%. Chapter 123 East River Sect. As the Lin family team entered the East River Sect also dispatched the Golden Core Cultivator to negotiate. The place where they stayed was on a Tier 4 spiritual vein called the Tiger City. Huju City is the border area between Donghazong and Wu Kingdom. More than 1,000 years ago, it was also bordered by demonic beasts. However, as the human race continues to advance into the wilderness, this original borderland has changed again. Became inland. Although it is no longer a frontier stronghold, it still plays the role of inspection to prevent the 3 sects of Wu from entering Zheng's territory, just like entering the Lin family this time. Although Huju City is only a Tier 4 spiritual vein, it has been in operation for a long time and its scale is no longer small. The population of Huju City is probably no less than 400,000. There are already a lot of cultivators for such a population, and the lord of the city, Sun Hongsheng, is a golden core cultivator. Not long after everyone in the Lin family set foot on the territory of the Dong sect, the people from Huzhecheng sent people to ask. Lin Qianlong was not so much trading with the Dong sect. Later, Sun Hongsheng came forward and some of the Lin family were able to enter the city. Others are temporarily stationed outside the city, but there are still a few third-order spiritual veins outside the city, and everyone can temporarily settle down. Lin Haoyang was the only one who followed Lin Qianlong into the city. After entering the city of Huju, Lin Haoyang and Bega were taken to the mansion of the city lord of the city. As soon as they entered the city lord's mansion, the old man greeted him. The two came from afar. I don't know what to do with my Dong sect. Sun Hongsheng said. Lin Qianlong smiled and said, recently, demonic beasts has rioted, and the output of spiritual rice in Wu state has been greatly reduced. I have heard that Dongzong is good at producing spiritual rice. I wonder if we can sell some of it. When I heard that, Sun Hongsheng showed such an expression on his face. Over the years, many people have come to Huju City to buy spiritual rice. If there is a year of starvation, most of the nearby border famine sect will return to Dong sect to buy spiritual rice. Most of the 3 sects of the Wu Kingdom came from the tigers. Sun Hongsheng ordered people to serve Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang tea, and he said, a specialty of the East River sect Haiyu Liushuang. Try it for 2. I heard that there was a desolate animal tied recently. I don't know which sect the fellow Taoist came from. Quote. Lin Qianlong took a sip and said, Qingyunzong. Lin Qianlong. Lin Haoyang took a sip of the so-called Lake Moon Frost, and suddenly felt a peculiar spirit power sinking in own Dantian, and even the own cultivation base had grown for a few months or so. Lin Haoyang was shocked. This Haiyu Liu Shuang could grow cultivation base. If I drink this tea every day, do I still need cultivation? But Lin Haoyang shook his head again. Spiritual objects are good fortune, but there is no such kind of cultivation base that can grow infinitely with cultivator. All gift growth cultivation base has a limit. I am afraid that this lake and moon will be frosty, and the second drink will not have such an effect. Sun Hongsheng saw Lin Haoyang calm down so quickly, he was a little surprised. You must know how much he felt when he drank this tea for the first time. A little bit calmed down, and Sun Hongsheng continued. Since I am a fellow Taoist of the Azure Cloud sect, this business must be done, but I don't know how much spiritual rice does the fellow Taoist cost. Lin Qianlong smiled and stretched out 2 fingers. Seeing Lin Qianlong so mysterious, he shook his head and smiled. It's only 200,000 caddies of ling rice. I can still eat it when I'm in the city. Please Lin fellow Taoist wait a moment, I'm. Before Sun Hongsheng finished speaking, Lin Qianlong interrupted him and said. Fellow Sun Taoist misunderstood. What I want is not 200,000 caddies of spiritual rice, but 2 million caddies of spiritual rice. And I need 2 million caddies every year. Quote. Sun Hongsheng opened his mouth slightly. He couldn't believe his own ears. What Lin Qianlong wanted was 2 million caddies of ling mi. This figure was no longer what Hu Hucheng could produce, nor could he be the master. 2 million caddies of ling rice is by no means a small number. The average 5th rank power consumes no more than this figure every year. Now Lin Haoyang costs 2 million caddies of ling mi in one mouth, which really surprised him. This means that in the future, the entire Qingyan sect will be tied to the Dong sect. This kind of thing is not his turn. The Lord of the Tiger stays in the city to call the shots. With a wry smile, Sun Hongsheng stood up and said, Lin fellow Taoist shot makes me difficult. Please wait a moment, Lin fellow Taoist, I will send a letter to the head of the East River sect. Such a number requires his old man to nod before he can take charge. Lin Qianlong smiled and gestured to please, and then Sun Hongsheng retreated. After Sun Hongsheng left, Lin Haoyang said, Patriarch, do you say that Dong sect can agree? I think this matter is still a bit wrong. When the Qingyan sect's spiritual field relaxes in the future, will you say that Dong sect will threaten us with spiritual rice? You can think of it, sect elder, head teacher, of course, would you really give up all the spiritual fields when they are? Not only will they not, but they will also expand the total amount of spiritual fields. Even the 4 of us will expand the total amount of spiritual fields, and they do so for the purpose of collecting grain. In future wars, the spiritual meters needed are astronomical figures, and Qingyunzong is preparing early. I'm afraid, there is also the promotion of Chongshan Tower. Lin Ganlong said. Listening to Lin Qianlong's words, Lin Haoyang suddenly realized that what he was thinking was still a bit too simple. It will take a year for Qingyunzong to grow spiritual rice by itself, but the demand for spiritual rice has soared. If there is no such spiritual rice from Dong sect, the Qingyunzong will be in a state of inadequate green and yellow for a long time and open up wasteland. Will also be affected. As for the Chongshan Tower, I am afraid that they also have this idea. The 2 sides agreed, and then at the elder meeting, Zhou Zunyuan appointed Lin Qianlong in charge of Ling Mi. After half an hour, Sun Hongsheng reappeared, but this time with a wry smile on his face. He saw the 2 of them and said, Lin fellow Taoist, sorry, I just got the news that just recently, the fellow Taoist of the Dry Fire Pavilion also came to our territory of the East River sect. They also need a large amount of spiritual rice. Although Dong sect is rich in spiritual rice, it is still a bit difficult to supply such a large amount of spiritual rice at the same time. Therefore, the head decides to supply one of you, and who to supply it, still needs fellow Taoist Lin to visit sect to discuss with the head. As for the camel orcs and horses brought by the fellow Taoist Lin, Hu Hucheng will naturally take care of them, and the 2 fellow Taoist will just go. Quote. Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang looked at each other and saw the helplessness in each other's eyes. Qianwo Pavilion and Qingyunzong belong to the 3rd generals of the Wu Kingdom, and their strength is not much different. This time the Qianwo Pavilion dare to come here, I am afraid that it has been here. Lin Haoyang is secretly grateful that he has refined 9 sets of magic armor before coming this time. Although these magic armors are only 2nd tier high rank, he is a fortunate one. This means that Qingyunzong can refine magic armors. Since second-tier high-rank magic armors can be refined, then third-tier magic armors are not impossible. Therefore, if Dongzong is smart enough, he will definitely not give up this opportunity. Now that this is the case, Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang are not indecisive, so naturally they have to fight. Afterwards, Hongsheng Sun sent a foundation-building cultivator and took Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang straight to the East River sect. 21%. Chapter 124 Dry Fire Pavilion. The area of Dong sect is larger than that of Qingyan sect, and Tiger City is on the southernmost side of Dong sect. Even if Lin Haoyang and others are walking with swords, it took a month to reach Qingyan sect. Mountain Gate. The Mountain Gate of Dong sect was built on a small island in the middle of a big lake. There is a fifth-order spiritual vein on the small island. In addition, there are other large and small islands on the lake. After many years of operation by the Dong sect, these small islands have also been cultivated with spiritual veins. Because of the deep lake, these small islands are very suitable for opening up spiritual fields. This is also the reason why the Donghazong is rich in spiritual rice. Under the leadership of the foundation building in Tiger City, the three of them went straight to the central island. When he approached, Lin Haoyang discovered that the central island was guarded by three small islands. On these islands, Lin Haoyang felt strong formation fluctuations. Lin Haoyang guessed that the Dong sect's guardian formation was probably built on these small islands. Every small island here is the base of the formation. Without the leadership of the Dong sect cultivator, if you want to forcefully capture the Dong sect, it is possible to capture all of these outlying islands. The three of them were interrogated on the road. The cultivator of Tiger City took out Sun Hongsheng's token letter and was released. It seems that it is as difficult for outsiders to enter Dong sect. Soon, Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong were led by the foundation building cultivator to the mountain gate of the central island of Dong sect. At first glance, there are not too many mountains on this small island. Instead, it is a piece of spiritual land. Lin Haoyang estimated that in this area of Dong sect alone, there may be no less than 10,000 acres of spiritual land, and these spiritual fields are produced. The Lingmi is definitely an astronomical number. Okay, 2. When I get here, naturally there will be a sect cultivator coming to take me in. My mission is completed, so I will return to Tiger City first. I wish the two fellow Taoists can accomplish what they want. Foundation Building Cultivator Road. Lin Haoyang thanked him. Over the past month, he has also heard a lot of news from the Foundation Building Cultivator. The two sides get along fairly well. As soon as the Foundation Building Cultivator in Tiger City left, the Dong sect came. The person was a female cultivator. The cultivation base was in the foundation building late stage. When I saw the two of them, especially after seeing that Lin Qianlong was already a golden core, his face showing a respectful look, he said, "Senior, head teacher is waiting for you in the conference hall, please also senior to come with me." Lin Qianlong glanced at Lin Haoyang, then nodded, and followed the female foundation building to the conference hall of Dong sect. On the way, Lin Haoyang asked, "Fellow Taoist, I heard that Dryfire Pavilion also sent someone here, can you tell us about it?" Hearing what Lin Haoyang said, the female sister just thought about it a little bit and said, "The Ganha Pavilion is the gate that arrived 3 days ago. A total of 3 people came here, 1 golden core and 2 foundation building late-stage cultivators. This time, I'm afraid I want to cooperate with Lingmi. I heard that they have prepared a lot of good things for this cooperation. Some golden core elders in sect have been attracted by it. Most of the clan also began to tend to cooperate with Qianwo Pavilion, but the real head of the clan and Taishang elder did not speak, they are still innumerable." Quote. After listening, Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. He didn't expect that the Dry Fire Pavilion would have been here too. If so, I'm afraid things at this meeting would not be so easy. Thanks fellow Taoist for telling me. Lin Haoyang thanked him and stopped talking. Lin Qianlong also heard clearly, and was considering how to use his bargaining chip. Soon, Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong came to the meeting hall of the Dong sect. This time they sent representatives to buy a large amount of spiritual rice. With the purchase of such a large amount of spiritual rice, hundreds of thousands of spirit stones are traded every year, such a large number, even the head teacher of Dongzong has to deal with it carefully. So when both cases made the same request, Huang Daoren, the head teacher of Dong sect, called the two parties to come here to discuss, and this was obviously the price of sitting on the ground, but there was no way for the two cases, so they had to follow Donghai's arrange. Soon, Lin Haoyang met Huang Daoren, the head teacher of Dong sect. Although Huang Daoren was more than 400 years old, he was still middle-aged. When the cultivator stepped into the nascent soul realm, his appearance would be fixed. Huang Daoren was less than 300 years old when he became a Taoist, and he was considered young. Therefore, his appearance is only middle-aged. On the other hand, some golden core cultivators of Dong sect are already showing their old state. These people have basically reached the end of their path. They are now doing their own meager efforts for sect, and accumulating more property for their descendants and disciples. Lin Haoyang and the two stood at the conference hall under the guidance of the female cultivator. Opposite them were a golden core and two foundation building cultivators, presumably the three cultivators of Dry Fire Pavilion. Qingyunzong and Dry Fire Pavilion did not deal with each other, and there have been frictions over the years. When Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong came, the golden core cultivator of Dry Fire Pavilion showed a gloomy expression on his face. Obviously, he didn't really want to see them. Qingyunzong, Lin Qianlong, Lin Haoyang, meet Huang Zhenren. Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong salute Huang Daoren. Huang Daoren nodded, in return, and then said, I already know the purpose of your two coming here. Although my Dong sect is rich in spiritual rice, but it is still lacking in strength to supply both of you at the same time. I have recently invited you to come here for two cases just to discuss with whom to work with. Quote. As soon as Huang Daoren's words fell, Wei Enz, the golden core cultivator of Dry Fire Pavilion, said, Head teacher Huang, this time I came here with sincerity. If Guizhong is willing to cooperate with me, I am willing to pay 10% more. Wei Enz's words made Lin Qianlong frown. Lin Qianlong didn't expect that Qianwo Pavilion would come up with such a bargaining chip. The purchase of Lingmi at a 10% more price was given to the East River sect spirit stones in cupped hands, and this number was not small. The Lin family did not buy Lingmi from sect, but let the Lin family handle it on their behalf. There is some truth in this. If Lin Qianlong follows the same price, I am afraid that the Lin family will not only make a profit, but will lose money instead. Therefore, it is impossible for the Lin family to raise the purchase price, and Wei Enz was proud of seeing Lin Qianlong's appearance. The fire in Qianwo Pavilion is heavier and not suitable for the growth of spiritual rice, but the resources in the territory are rich, and the price of spiritual rice in the territory is higher than usual. This is why he dared to increase the price by 10%. Suo Ran added this 10% price, and when he transported these Ling Mi back to the Dry Fire Pavilion, he just made a little less. Not only could he complete the sect mission, but he could also make some money. Originally, this success would go into his pocket, but because of Lin Qianlong's insertion, he had to give up part of his own interests. After hearing the conditions put forward by Wei Enz, Huang Daoren smiled, obviously very satisfied, and then looked at Lin Qianlong, obviously waiting for Lin Qianlong to say the conditions. Lin Qianlong smiled and said, The Dry Fire Pavilion is really rich, and I can't compare with Qingyunzong. Listening, Wei Enz smiled sarcastically, already thinking that Lin Qianlong could not give up a greater price than him. But, my Azure Cloud sect can use other things instead. Haoyang, show it to the seniors of Dong sect. A smirk appeared on Lin Haoyang's face and said, Yes. Afterwards, Lin Haoyang shot the storage bag, and 9 sets of Wu Jinkai immediately appeared in the Great Hall. 21%. Chapter 125 The Temptation of Wu Jinjiao. Lin Haoyang's movements were extremely large, without the slightest concealment, and the 9 sets of black gold armor suddenly appeared in the meeting hall of the Dong sect. Originally, Wei Enz was still smiling, thinking that Lin Qianlong could not bring out anything more valuable because of the 10% profit, which represented too much. But when Lin Haoyang took out Wu Jinkai, he was completely stunned. What did he see? Law armor. As a golden core cultivator, I still have this vision, and I couldn't speak immediately. It was not only Wei Enz who was surprised, but also all the cultivators of Dong sect were stunned. As a nascent soul cultivator, Huang Daoren was surprised at some second-tier top-grade magical items. However, Huang Daoren is the nascent soul cultivator after all, and quickly recovered and asked, Lin fellow Taoist, I don't know if this magic armor was made by your Azure Cloud sect yourself, or was it an accident? The difference between self-refining and unexpected results is too big. If it is self-refining, it means that the Azure Cloud sect has already controlled a vein that can refine the magic armor, and can continuously refine the magic armor. If it was only by accident, these 9 magic armors are orphans, and they are not worthy of being moved by the golden core cultivator. Lin Qianlong smiled and said, These 9 sets of magic armors are made by my Qingyunzong. The magic armors are engraved with formation. A single set of magic armors can enhance 30% of the spirit power of the cultivator itself, and the 9 sets can condense a sword chi. Its power is not small. Foundation building early stage cultivator makes a full blow. Quote. Lin Qianlong's words once again resembled a blast of thunder, which blasted in everyone's minds. Not only were these magic armors extremely powerful, but the Azure Cloud sect also controlled the refining method, which showed that the Azure Cloud sect had indeed found a vein of the raw material of the magic armor. In this way, Huang Daoren twitched. Although the magic armor that the Lin family took out was precious, he was not sure how much Qingyun sect could finally give to Qingyun sect. At such a critical juncture as the wasteland reclamation season, who doesn't want to save more strength? At the same time, the 10% of the profit that Qianwoj gave up also made him tempted. Although it was only 10%, after 10 years, more than 100,000 spirit power would be credited. Such a benefit, he can hardly refuse. For a while, he was also caught in a dilemma. Even the Golden Core Elder of the East River sect was divided into 2 factions at this moment and began to argue. Looking at the current situation, Lin Haoyang was also a little helpless. He didn't expect that until now. They even took out the magic armor, and they couldn't make a final decision. Not only Lin Haoyang and the others are anxious, but Wenz of Dryfire Pavilion is also anxious. Dryfire Pavilion's next plan will require a lot of spiritual rice. If this does not happen, I am afraid that the next plan will also be difficult to complete. Thinking of this place, Wei Enz cruelly said, I am willing to buy it at a price of 0.5% more. As soon as this statement came out, the discussion hall was quiet. With a profit of 1.5%, the Dry Fire Pavilion would send about 20,000 more spirit stones to the East River sect in 1 year. In the past 10 years, it will be 200,000 spirit stones. Even Huang Daoren did not expect that Wei Enz would make such a concession. Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong were both dumbfounded. At this time, Huang Daoren looked at Lin Qianlong again. Obviously, he was watching whether the Lin family could come up with something better. Lin Qianlong's expression sank. If he still couldn't figure out the armor, he couldn't come up with anything better, but at this moment, Lin Haoyang spoke. Huang Sr., the Azure Cloud sect can refine the magic armor. I dare to promise that every year, my Azure Cloud sect can use such a complete set of magic armor to make spirit stones, among other things. My Azure Cloud sect can also refine puppets. Tier 2 puppets, and Tier 3 puppets can be refined. If the East River sect needs it, we can also sell it to the East River sect. Quote. Lin Haoyang's words made Huang Daoren's eyes light up, and the price Lin Haoyang offered could no longer be exchanged for spirit stones. Puppets are difficult to cultivate together, and no one in Qingyun sect, Qianwo Pavilion, and Dong sect can cultivate. Even Lin Haoyang himself wanted to cultivate a puppet, but he couldn't do it. However, Lin Xuancheng has a special talent and a special talent for a puppet. After waiting for his foundation building this time, he can definitely refine a Tier 3 puppet. The value of Tier 3 puppets is not as valuable as the foundation building Dan, but it is equally powerful. Having a puppet is equivalent to having a foundation building combat power. For the Dong sect, who is short of resources, it is a great temptation at this time. Even if there is no such thing as this spiritual rice, I am afraid that they will go to the Lin family to buy magic armor and puppets. Seeing that something was wrong, Wei En said excitedly. Huang head teacher, but I gave up 15% of the benefits. You must cooperate with me in Ganhuo Zhe. Huang Daoren frowned. Although Wei En's benefits were very attractive, he did not expect that the worst part of Dong sect was not spirit stones, but the resources and enhanced strength. And this is exactly what Lin Haoyang considered very clearly, so it is impossible for him to snatch Lin Haoyang. Seeing Huang Daoren ignored him, Wei Enz wanted to say it again, but Huang Daoren was furious and said, Enough. This is my Dong sect. How to decide I will think about it, and I can't tolerate you to talk. Huang Daoren became angry, and Wei Enz felt a bit cold behind his back. He was so angry that he lost his mind just now, and shouted at Huang Daoren. The other party is nascent soul cultivator, cut him, like a dog. With Huang Daoren's shock, the others in the Dong sect in the chamber also forced their mouths. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang calmed down. It seemed that he had a good guess. Dong Zong's virtue is not spirit stones, but resources and heritage. The magic armor and puppets proposed by Lin Haoyang are solid foundations. If you cooperate with Qingyunzong, Dong Hazong's background can be continuously strengthened. This is the best return a head teacher thinks. Well, that's all for this discussion. Li Chong, take the three fellow Taoists from Dry Fire Pavilion down. Huang Daoren said. As soon as Huang Daoren's voice fell, the Golden Core cultivator stood up and came to the three of Wei En's and said, Wei fellow Taoist, please. Wei En's glanced at Huang Daoren, his eyes full of helplessness, and finally had to count all the resentment on the Lin family. It seemed that this sorrow was settled. However, Lin Haoyang didn't care about Wei En's. The two have always been at odds. Even at the juncture of the demonic beast's attack, the two are just taking care of themselves and even doing a disservice. As soon as Wei En's left, the expression on Huang Daoren's face naturally changed, and said to Lin Ganlong. This little friend Lin Haoyang said, 1 set of magic armor a year, and puppets can be exchanged, is this really true? Lin Qianlong felt unwilling to give up. The output of Wujin mine in the county was not high. I am afraid that only half a year's output can be trained into such a set of magic armor. In this way, the Lin family's own stay will be greatly reduced. As for the puppet, Lin Qianlong is not worried. Regarding Lin Xuancheng's accomplishments with the puppet, he knows that Lin Haoyang will spare no effort to help him break through the foundation building. In the future, Tier 3 puppets will definitely not be a problem. Really, Lin Ganlong said. Seeing Lin Qianlong's affirmative answer, Huang Daoren also breathed a sigh of relief. If Lin Haoyang was slanderous just now, I am afraid he would really not be able to get off the stage today. Now that the two parties have reached an agreement, they have to start discussing the transportation of Ling rice. Such cumbersome matters will be taken care of by their own person. Don't trouble Huang Daoren, he just needs to pay attention. 21%. Chapter 126 The Granary. The person in charge of Dong Zongling rice trade is Fan Licheng, a golden core 8-layer cultivator. Fan Licheng is not only a cultivation base but also a disciple of head teacher Huang Daoren. He has a deep relationship with sect. Under the leadership of Fan Licheng, Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong came to the granary of Donghazong, a huge circular building. The diameter of this circular building is no less than 100 meters, and the towering ground is about 80 meters high. This is just what you can see from the surface. Below the ground, I don't know how much shadow is hidden. When he came to this giant granary, Fan Licheng said, The two fellow Taoists of the Azure Cloud sect, this is one of my Dong sect's granary. It stores some first-order spiritual rice and second-order spiritual rice. Every year after the harvest of spiritual rice from all over the country, it will be transported here. If you need to trade, then ship it out from here. This time, our cooperation with Guizhong is full of sincerity. I want you to know that no matter how much appetite you have, my Donghazong can eat it. As for the special spiritual rice above Tier 3, it needs a special environment to store it, and if it is placed in another place, outsiders cannot easily enter that place. Quote. Lin Haoyang nodded, expressing that they understand that sect is important, and outsiders should not take it lightly. Bringing them to see this granary this time is also to make the Lin family feel at ease. Immediately afterwards, Lin Haoyang and Lin Ganlong followed Fan Licheng into this huge granary. Once they entered the granary, Lin Haoyang saw dense runes. Some of these runes were defensive runes, some were gathering runes, and some were runes that Lin Haoyang had never seen before, which made Lin Haoyang feel novel. Fan Licheng always had a smile on his face and said, These runes are the results of my many years of research. He can guarantee that these spirit meters will not corrode and will lose spirit power over time. Lin Haoyang was shocked. He didn't expect that Dong sect had already developed this kind of rune. The Lin family also produced spiritual rice, but the spiritual rice was not easy to store, and it was stored for up to 2 years. Otherwise, the spirit power in the Lingmi will be lost and his utility will be lost. For a while, Lin Haoyang's heart is moved and wants to get these rune formations back. But at the moment on the site of Dong sect, he is still robbing others of their jobs. I'm afraid they would like to devour him alive. Lin Haoyang suppressed the thoughts in his heart and followed in Fan Licheng's footsteps. After a while, the three of them passed through several portals and finally came to the boundary where the spiritual rice was stored. They saw a huge column in front of them. The inside of the column was full of first-order top-grade crescent rice, which was full. It seemed that it should be the new rice that was just picked this year. Lin Haoyang estimates that the amount of spiritual rice he can see here alone is probably 2 million. This Dong sect is indeed a big food producer. Well, Lingmi has already seen it, it's time to discuss the price. Fan Licheng said. In the discussion hall before, Lin Haoyang put forward the condition that the magic armor and puppets were used to exchange for spirit stones, but the specific price of the spirit rice has not yet been negotiated. Generally speaking, a spirit stones can buy 17 caddies of Ling rice, but a large-scale purchase like the Lin family can give a discount, but because of the insertion of the dry fire pavilion, this discount is infinitely reduced. On the market, 1 spirit stones can buy 17 kilograms of spiritual rice, but this time it is at a loss. Our business, a spirit stones, how about buying 18 kilograms of spiritual rice? Lin Ganlong said. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. If it weren't for Dongzong Hengsha this time, he even hoped to reduce the price of light to 1 spirit stones, 19 jin, or even 20 jin. Hearing Lin Qianlong's answer, Fan Licheng smiled and said, "As we all know, my Dong sect is lacking in its inner heritage, and it is incomparable to the other 3 sects in Zheng Kingdom. I can only rely on the abundant spiritual rice to maintain the status quo of sect. And the appearance of the Lin fellow Taoist made me wait and see hope. The Blue Cloud sect was tied to the chariot of the Chongshan Tower this time. I think this wasteland reclamation season will definitely gain a lot of money. I wonder if I can pull my Dong sect. A handful." Quote. After listening to Fan Licheng's words, Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang were taken aback in their hearts. They didn't expect Dong sect to have such a plan. This Dong sect obviously has plans to win over Qingyun sect and lean towards the Chongshan Tower. It seems that this time, things are not that simple. Lin Qianlong was also courageous, and was not frightened by Fan Licheng's words. "Fan fellow Taoist is serious. We and Chongshan Tower are just an alliance and cooperation relationship. We can't talk about it. If there is a need in the future, we have to rely on fellow Taoists of the East River sect." Hearing this, Fan Licheng also smiled and said, "Okay, it's enough to have Lin fellow Taoist. I don't have anything else in the Dong sect. I just have enough spiritual rice. I'm in charge. I will sell these spiritual rice at the price of 20 kilograms of spiritual rice per spirit stones. To fellow Taoist." After that, Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong were both a little stupid, but Fan Licheng unexpectedly offered such a condition. But soon, Lin Haoyang reacted, probably because Huang Daoren, the sect leader of the Dong sect, was pushing behind him, and all of this was because he wanted the Qingyun sect and the Chongshan Tower to get along well. As for the Lin family, they had not yet been able to see him. "Then thank you, Fan fellow Taoist." Lin Qianlong thanked him. 1 spirit stones is exchanged for 20 ling meters, and the 100,000 spirit stones allocated by the Azure Cloud sect can buy 2 million jin of ling rice. The original shortfall of 300,000 jin of ling rice will naturally cease to exist. This year, 4 can earn 300,000 caddies of ling mi. And the 55% of the shares of the Lin family is equivalent to 170,000 caddies of income in a year, which is converted into spirit stones, which is the income of 10,000 spirit stones. And this is not the most profitable place. After the Lin family controls the Qingyunzong spiritual rice trade, all the small towns and strongholds within the Qingyunzong can be operated by the Lin family. And this part of the demand may not be less than 1 million caddies in a year, and this part is where the 4 alliances make money. 100,000 spirit stones. The whole set of magic armor that Lin Haoyang took out was counted as 9,000 spirit stones, which made Lin Haoyang very happy. You know, these magic armors are only second-tier top grades, and the price of 9,000 spirit stones is equivalent to a few third-tier magical items. However, the production of these magic armors is really difficult. Not only are the raw materials difficult to find, but the refining requires the cooperation of the third-order formation master and the refiner. Among them is a set of third-order alphabetic chain arrays, which means that the price of this whole set of magic armor refining is not low in itself. Soon, Lin Qianlong delivered the spirit stones and signed the contract. 2 million caddies of spiritual rice will naturally be sent to Huju City. The Lin family only needs to transport these spiritual rice back from Huju City. First, there are a lot of people in the Lin family camel team, and it is impossible for Dongzong to allow so many foreign cultivators to stay in his territory. Second, there are canals in the Dongzong territory, and the cost of transporting food is lower and faster. Third, the contract is certain. In the future, the spirit rice around the Dongzonghojun city will not need to be sent to the Dongzongshanmen, but only need to be transported to the Tiger City, which also saves manpower and material resources. Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong, who had saved a lot of effort, followed the Dong sect's fleet to Tiger City. 2 million caddies of rice is not a small number. Dong sect sent a golden core and 20 foundation buildings to follow. In addition, Lin Qianlong himself was the golden core cultivator, and the road was very stable. 2 months later, everyone returned to Huju City along the canal. 21%. Chapter 127 Deterrence. There is also a granary in Huju City, but it is not large, and can only store up to 500,000 caddies of spiritual rice. As soon as Lin Qianlong returned to Huju City, he asked Shangbai Zonkang to wait for the cultivator who stayed in Huju City to come over. This time, in addition to the mighty camel beasts, each family also raised a lot of storage bags. These storage bags they were of different sizes, but they transported almost 1 million caddies of ling rice at one time. The remaining 1 million caddies of lingmi will be temporarily placed in Huju City, and will come back after Lin Qianlong and the others have sent it off. Huju City is the resident of the East River sect. It has a fourth-order large formation and a golden core cultivator stationed there. These 1 million caddies of spiritual rice are safe to put here. However, the friend's almost 500,000 caddies of spiritual rice are simply stored, and it is necessary for Lin Haoyang and the others to rush to transport these spiritual rice back as soon as possible. However, an accident happened before the 4 camel teams set off. While loading and unloading Ling Mi, the Lin family accidentally discovered that the people from Dry Fire Pavilion appeared in Huju City. Originally, this was not a major event. Huju City is the fortress of the East River sect in the western frontier, and it is not far from the Dry Fire Pavilion. If in the past, the people from the Dry Fire Pavilion would naturally have no problem here. However, now Dry Fire Pavilion has failed in Dong sect and failed to purchase Lingmi from Dong sect. It has already formed a grievance with them. Under such circumstances, the people from Dry Fire Pavilion will reappear here, said. This Lin family disciple was also witty, and as soon as he found the person in the Dry Fire Pavilion, he told the patriarch Lin Qianlong about the matter. Lin Qianlong was scheming and guessed that something must be happening, so he called up a total of 10 people from various foundation building cultivators to discuss the matter together. Although Lin Haoyang was not very old, he had a lot of knowledge. Just being robbed and killed, he would not go down a few times. After thinking about it, Lin Haoyang said, "The road from Dry Fire Pavilion to Lin's family is the territory of Azure Cloud sect. If the people in Dry Fire Pavilion dared to rob and kill the 4 camel teams on this road, it would be equivalent to going to war with Azure Cloud sect. Therefore, if the people of Dry Fire Pavilion want to do it, they can only have a chance on the road from Tiger to Qingyunzong." Quote. As soon as Lin Haoyang's words came out, everyone felt reasonable, even Wei En's. He did not dare to openly rob the Qingyun sect. If he did that, there would be a war between the 2 sects. Therefore, what Lin Haoyang and the others have to consider now is how many people will be dispatched from the Dry Fire Pavilion this time, and whether they can keep this batch of spiritual rice. Brother Lin, he is not afraid of wearing shoes. If their golden core and foundation building cultivator specifically select our camel beasts, we can't afford to lose it. Every camel beast is worthy of gold. Kangdao. As soon as these words came out, everyone frowned. Yes, just talk about the fighting method. The 4 of them are not afraid of the people in the Dry Fire Pavilion, but if the other party only picks up the camel beast to do it, they can't protect them all. The aftermath of the foundation building cultivator and golden core cultivator battles may hurt these golden camel beasts. For a while, everyone fell into silence, and Qianwo Pavilion really wanted to come to the bottom of the pan to draw a salary. They really couldn't help it. Everyone, Dry Fire Pavilion is not too close to the East River sect. I don't believe that they can find reinforcements from sect in such a short time. If they only came to the East River sect to transport Lingmi this time, I am afraid the camel beasts they brought would not have time to send back to sect. Why don't we start first? Lin Haoyang said. Lin Qianlong is relatively stable, and this mission must not be missed. After hearing Lin Haoyang's suggestion, he frowned, obviously hesitating. The patriarchs of Bai, Lu, and Ma are also old fried dough sticks. They have always focused on family development, and naturally they are not willing to take this risk. Seeing that this person was reluctant to do this, Lin Haoyang said again. Everyone, now the enemy is in the dark, we are in the light. If we don't disturb their deployment, I am afraid it will be difficult for us to return to Qingyunzong safely. No matter how few people are doing this kind of thing, I will go alone. Even if it is exposed, I can escape for my life. Quote. No, it's too dangerous at this time, Haoyang, you can't go. Lin Xuanjing worried. Lin Haoyang felt warm and explained. Don't worry, you guys, I bought a map in Donghazong a few days ago, and Kianwoj is the same as ours. All the defensive focus is on the frontier. There is only one Tier 3 stronghold near the East River sect. If Wei Ens and others really want to do something, the camel beast they brought this time will be placed there. We also have the Golden Core Cultivator. If they want to do it, they will inevitably come out, but where they are empty, as long as I sneak in quietly, they will definitely let them ignore this side, and you can naturally return with the camel beast. Quote. Although everyone was unwilling, Lin Haoyang's plan was indeed the only way to get out at the moment. Otherwise, he would have to return to the Azure Cloud sect to request support, but this time was too time-consuming for them to delay. In the end, everyone couldn't think of a good way, so they agreed to Lin Haoyang's plan and let him go straight to the nearest stronghold in the Dry Fire Pavilion. Lin Qianlong agreed with Lin Haoyang's plan because he knew Lin Haoyang's ability. After the Shuyang Mountain trial, Lin Haoyang's strength was reborn, and coupled with the Tier 4 Dragon Abyss sword in his hand, even if he encountered the Golden Core Cultivator, he would be able to fight. Even if you are not an opponent, you can still escape. With a decision, Lin Haoyang went out of the city on the same day. In order not to stun the snake, Lin Haoyang quietly left. Except for a few foundation building cultivators, no one knew where Lin Haoyang had gone. Huju City is not far from the nearest stronghold of the Dry Fire Pavilion, about 10 days away. They discussed it before leaving. 12 days after Lin Haoyang left, Lin Qianlong and the others left. 2 days were enough for Lin Haoyang to start and pass the news to Wei Enz's ears. 10 days later, Lin Haoyang rushed to the stronghold of Dry Fire Pavilion. This stronghold was built on a cliff, similar to Yanhuibao Ma's house. On 3 cliffs, it was also easy to defend and hard to attack. But this cliff is only useful for low-level demonic beasts and demonic beasts below the foundation building. Lin Haoyang can guard his sword, but these cliffs have no effect at all. However, what makes Lin Haoyang a little embarrassed is that the third order formation of this stronghold has been opened. It seems that Wei Ens is also prepared for a long time, so he is not at ease with so many camel beasts here, so he asks people to open the mountain protection formation at all times. Lin Haoyang smiled. Isn't this place without silver 300 taels? Who would be stupid enough to open the mountain guarding formation at all times? This burn is all money. Before, he was only guessing that Wei Ens would hide his camel beasts inside, but now that he saw the mountain guarding formation, he was already 90% sure that those camel beasts were hidden in this stronghold. Lin Haoyang's headache now is how to get into this mountain protection formation. Although it is only a third-order mountain protection formation, if he rushes hard, Lin Haoyang will not be able to break this formation. In this way, Waynes can't be attracted back, so his plan will come to no avail. Lin Haoyang circled the stronghold, but found no weaknesses. But at this moment, the light of the mountain guard trembled, and a group of people came out of it. 21%. Chapter 128. Seeing this team of people, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. As long as he finds a chance to get involved, he will have the opportunity to get into this stronghold, and it will be much easier to create chaos at that time. Lin Haoyang dissipated the spirit power around his body, no longer held the sword, and quietly rushed to the pair of men and horses. Following this team of men and horses, Lin Haoyang came to a wilderness of mountains, and then the team of men and horses dispersed and began to hunt down the beasts in the mountains. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang suddenly realized that a large number of camel beasts brought by Dry Fire Pavilion needed to eat every day, because after 2 more months of delay, the bloody food brought by Dry Fire Pavilion itself was almost eaten. And this Tier 3 stronghold didn't have much storage. There was no way for it to go out and hunt some beasts and low-level demonic beasts to feed the camel beasts. Otherwise, if these camel beasts had a problem, they couldn't bear the responsibility. The cultivator that came out to hunt the beasts, the highest cultivation base was only on the first floor of the foundation building. Lin Haoyang could easily kill them, but Lin Haoyang didn't do it. Ns. As these people went deep into the mountains and dispersed in all directions, Lin Haoyang found an opportunity to follow a cultivator with 5 layers of veins. There are 13 people in the Dry Fire Pavilion cultivator. The cultivation base is on the first floor of the foundation building, and the cultivation base is on the second floor of the cultivation base. Lin Haoyang did not find the cultivation base with the most low hands, but found a cultivation base in the middle, which is not easy to notice. After this 5-layer cultivator dispersed with the crowd, he found a bison that was about to transform the demon. When his eyes lit up, he went straight to the bison. Relying on his 5-layer cultivation base, it is easy to deal with such a bison. I saw a flying sword in the cultivator's hand, which penetrated the bison's back and shattered his heart, but before he took the sword, a dark shadow flashed in the distance. Before he could do anything, the black shadow pierced his eyebrows, killing Yellow Springs instantly. The cultivation base on the 6th floor of Lin Haoyang Foundation building wanted to kill a cultivator on the 5th floor of the veins. It was so simple that he didn't even make a sound. Soon, Lin Haoyang stripped off the cultivator, and even the storage bag and the magical item in it were simply sacrificed, especially the flying sword just now. Lin Haoyang's divine sense power is already extremely powerful, and it is easy to erase the marks he left, and he practiced them all in less than half an hour. While searching, Lin Haoyang found a jade card with the words Wu Huan on one side and the image of Qianwo Pavilion on the other. Presumably this jade card is the identity token of the 5-layer cultivator. With this, Lin Haoyang's confidence in concealing the sky is even greater. The skin on Lin Haoyang's face squirmed, and the bones rang softly. After a while, he turned into Wu Huan's appearance. Lin Haoyang reached out and touched his face. This was the first time he used this technique. This kind of transformation art spreads aurora, but it is just a simple change of appearance, and the effect is not too great, but Lin Haoyang's cultivation base is too much higher than them. Under deliberate hiding, it is difficult for these people in the dry fire pavilion to find the clues. Since it has turned into his appearance, I have to find some beasts to kill them. With a whisper, Lin Haoyang manipulated flying sword and dismembered the bison. After that, Lin Haoyang searched around for 2 more hours and killed some demonic beasts until a bright light appeared in the distant sky. Lin Haoyang knew that the foundation building cultivator in dry fire pavilion was in a hurry to return. Lin Haoyang stopped staying any longer, and rushed to that place at the speed of the cultivator. When Lin Haoyang arrived, 6 or 7 people had already arrived. Lin Haoyang stood silently among the crowd. The foundation building cultivator headed by him just glanced at him and stopped paying attention to him. Presumably, Wu Huan didn't pay much attention to this foundation building cultivator. Lin Haoyang was relieved to see that the foundation building cultivator stopped looking at him. Wu Huan, do you think Elder can succeed this time? Lin Haoyang just walked into the crowd when a cultivator with 6 layers of veins approached and asked. Lin Haoyang frowned. This person was obviously familiar with Wu Huan, and too much conversation made him easily exposed. I don't know, it's better not to talk about the Golden Core Elder issue. Lin Haoyang didn't want to be troublesome, but said in a harsh tone. Seeing Lin Haoyang's attitude so indifferent, a hint of surprise appeared on his face, followed by a wave of contempt on his face, obviously dissatisfied with Lin Haoyang's attitude. Due to the fact that they are currently performing tasks outside, there is a foundation building cultivator guarding them, otherwise today, the two might be in conflict. Lin Haoyang didn't care, anyway, he just borrowed Wu Huan's identity. Soon, everyone arrived, everyone rushed back to the stronghold. Lin Haoyang hid among the people, inconspicuous, even the foundation building cultivator did not find any clues. Soon, Lin Haoyang followed everyone to the 3rd-tier stronghold in front of the mountain guard formation, only to see that the foundation building cultivator took out a token and printed it on the formation, and the mountain guard formation opened a hole for everyone. In and out. Go in, the foundation building cultivator said, and everyone filed in. After the last cultivator entered, the foundation building cultivator closed the formation again. You can disperse the blood after you send it to the Camel Beast Gate. We will go out again tomorrow until Elder and the others come back. Foundation building Elder said. Yes, Lin Haoyang replied. Immediately afterwards, Lin Haoyang followed the crowd towards the Camel Beast Gate, which was temporarily used to detain the Camel Beast at this Tier 3 stronghold. The Ganha Gebi Lin family has rich wealth, and there are close to 100 camel beasts alone. Fortunately, the most of them is a vegetarian fire beast, otherwise they alone would not be enough to prepare food for these camel beasts. The blood food prepared by Lin Haoyang and the others was for a kind of scorpion beast. There were about 20 scorpion beasts in this group, and they were the most precious camel beast brought out by the Qianwo Pavilion this time. Soon, Lin Haoyang sent the blood food to the person in charge of the Camel Beast Gate along with the crowd, and their tasks were completed, and they all dispersed. Lin Haoyang originally wanted to leave like this and find another chance to come to the Camel Beast Gate, but just after he left the Camel Beast Gate, one of them followed him, and it was the person who had spoken to him before. When he reached a place with no man, Lin Haoyang stopped and said, What do you want? Seeing that Lin Haoyang was like this, the visitors were even more presumptuous, saying, Wu Huan, when did you become so stiff? You were sent here, don't you have a long memory? Lin Haoyang frowned slightly and had a slight headache. It seemed that the person he chose randomly still had some stories, but Lin Haoyang was not in the mood to entangle with this person at the moment. In the past, in order to succeed, there was no time to search for the soul. He now doesn't know much about the situation in the stronghold, and now someone sends it to the door by himself, he will not be polite. Lin Haoyang turned around, facing the incoming person. The man frowned and said, Why, Wu Huan, still want to do it? You are not mine right now. Lin Haoyang choked his neck before he finished speaking. You have to die. I can't help it. At this moment, the incoming person was already scared to the extreme, because in Lin Haoyang's hands, he could not mobilize a trace of spirit power with Ben, and his life and death were entirely in Lin Haoyang's hands. Don't kill me, the man said in horror. But Lin Haoyang ignored him at all, pressed one hand to the center of his eyebrows, and started searching for the soul. 22%. Chapter 129 Chaos. Lin Haoyang loosened the neck of the dry fire pavilion disciple, and after Lin Haoyang searched for his soul, Lin Haoyang probably knew the defensive strength of this Tier 3 stronghold. As for his grievances with Wu Huan, he also understood a little bit. It was just some scenes framed and planted, which made Lin Haoyang not interested. After some soul searching, the disciple of Qianwo Pavilion had already bled from the 7 orifices, and the soul of the gods and beasts was traumatized. These dry fire pavilion disciples all planted special refinements in the sea of knowledge. Lin Haoyang forcibly searched for souls and touched the refinement, which directly killed him in Yellow Springs. Taking away the storage bag from the cultivator, Lin Haoyang hit a real fire and burned it clean. The soul search learned that this 3rd-tier stronghold now has 4 foundation building cultivators. The highest cultivation base has reached the 9th floor of the foundation building, and there are 2 others, both of which are foundation building middle stage cultivators. In addition to the 2, there are more than 200 cultivators here. For convenience, Wei Enz did not bring the cultivator when he attacked the Lin family. This time, the cultivators he brought also stayed in this stronghold. With the defensive power of this stronghold, even the Golden Core cultivator did not dare to force it. Lin Haoyang could only think of another way. Lin Haoyang walked around this stronghold in the image of Wu Huan and found that there were 3 foundation building cultivators stationed near the Camel Beast Gate. Other important matters were handled by the previous foundation building early stage cultivator. If something happens to the Camel Beast Gate, 3 foundation building cultivators will come soon. At that time, Lin Haoyang will face the siege of 4 foundation building cultivators and 200 Ningmei cultivators. Lin Haoyang came to a small mountain peak, where he could see the whole picture of the Camel Beast Gate, and found that the hundreds of camel beasts were locked inside, which made Lin Haoyang's heart moved. But Lin Haoyang knew that he would not be able to take these camel beasts with him anyway, and he wanted Wei Enz to withdraw the rat restraint. It depends on how much movement Lin Haoyang could make. Lin Haoyang rubbed his eyebrows and felt that it was not easy. After thinking about it for a long time, he didn't think of a good way, so he had to hide in the dark and look for opportunities. When night fell, Lin Haoyang quietly sneaked into the Camel Beast Gate, trying to create chaos through the night. The Camel Beast Gate is roughly divided into 3 areas. The fire beasts are locked in 1, the Shiri beasts are locked in 1, and some messy camel beasts are locked in 1. However, Lin Haoyang turned his attention to the fire monster with the largest number. Although Shiri's value is the greatest, Shiri's own strength is also stronger, and if he does it, the possible loss will not be too great. Therefore, Lin Haoyang turned his gaze to the fire Lin beast, which was more numerous and weaker. The fire beasts are similar to the Qinglin horses of the Azure Cloud sect. They are only 2nd-tier demonic beasts, but they are better than speed. There are rumors that these 2 camel beasts were bred from one kind of female beast, so the similarity is so high. Lin Haoyang came to the camel gate where the fire beasts were imprisoned, and saw that there were about 20 condensing cultivators who manage these fire beasts. Although the cultivation base is not too high, but if he wants to take it quietly, Lin Haoyang still not sure. Finding a dead corner with no one, Lin Haoyang rushed into the Camel Beast Gate. The tamed fire beasts had long lost their wildness. Seeing Lin Haoyang broke in, he didn't make a panic cry, but they were all curious. Looking at Lin Haoyang. Looking at these precious camel beasts, Lin Haoyang was really reluctant. You must know that the price of a Qinglin horse is 1,000 spirit stones up. Demonic beasts are all discounted here. I am afraid that Wei Enz will inevitably be punished. Since Lin Haoyang was here, even if Lin Haoyang wanted to make a big noise, Lin Haoyang slapped his storage bag, and 2 flying needles were suspended beside Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang used these 2 flying needles very smoothly, killing people invisibly. Lin's family was attacked by demonic beasts, thanks to these 2 flying needles disrupting demonic beasts' plan. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's spirit power shocked all over his body, and the 2 flying needles also shot upside down and flew straight to these fire beasts. In order not to attract the attention of others, Lin Haoyang shot very fast. These fire beasts themselves were weak. As long as they were pierced by a flying needle, they would not be able to escape their lives. In just a stick of incense, more than a dozen fire beasts were killed by Lin Haoyang, because the flying needles were too quiet, and the dry fire pavilion cultivator station did not find any clues at all. Finally, when the flying needle pierced the head of the 20th fire Lin beast, the fire Lin beast finally made a mess last year. The deaths of a large number of companions made them feel the fear. They felt that they were in high speed and the danger was approaching. The abnormality of the fire Lin beast group immediately aroused the alert of the cultivator station there. Soon, flames rose, illuminating the entire fire Lin beast's beast gate. At the same time, the entire stronghold shook, and 3 good auras were coming from the sword. Under the exposure of the flames, a black shadow lurked in the Huo Lin beast gate. Behind him, there was a Huo Lin beast corpse with nearly 20 heads. Seeing this scene, the dry fire pavilion cultivator guarding the fire beast was immediately shocked. The fire beast they guarded showed such a mistake. I am afraid that sect will not easily bypass them. Since I have been discovered, I don't hide it anymore. Lin Haoyang said to himself. I saw 3 Tiangong God Thunder Talisman flying out of his hand, and went straight to the 4 directions of the Camel Beast Gate. These 3 Tiangong God Thunder Talisman were stuffed into his hand by Lin Ganlong before he left. After the 3 spirit talismans flew in all directions, Lin Haoyang showed the Dragon Abyss sword again in his hand, and Lin Haoyang, who had been prepared for a long time, violently injected spirit power, a huge sword chi, and went straight to the Sharian Beast Gate in the distance. After finishing everything, Lin Haoyang didn't even look at it. In the chaos, he quietly left. Boom boom. With 3 loud noises in succession, 3 Tiangong God's Thunder Talisman exploded. This talisman was extremely powerful, and 3 of them fell in the Huolin Beast Gate at the same time. The thunder light immediately flooded this area, and even the 20 dry fire pavilions that came over. The cultivator also failed to escape. All fell into the thunder, only 2 of them escaped. Boom. Another louder explosion sounded. It was the sword ray cut by Lin Haoyang and fell into the Sharian Beast Gate. A series of loud noises made the entire Camel Beast Gate completely chaotic. These originally gentle camel beasts were also irritable and broke free of their chains. By the time the 3 foundation building cultivators of the dry fire pavilion arrived, Lin Haoyang had long been gone, but the entire Camel Beast Gate was already in chaos. Seeing this situation, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building didn't almost faint, but just took a look at it. There were no fewer than 50 camel beasts' death. He couldn't bear such a loss anyway, and the only way now was to catch the offender before Wei En's came back. After a sigh of relief, the 9-story cultivator of the foundation building ran spiritual chi around his body, shouting, "Close the mountain guard, search for the enemy and rescue the camel beast." With the order of the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building, the cultivators who came there searched around, but with Lin Haoyang's cultivation base, how could these people find it? Seeing that they couldn't find it, these cultivators had no choice but to catch the escaped camel beasts back, so as not to suffer the second stage loss. Lin Haoyang was hiding on a roof at the moment. His face was full of joy, and a white mist was emitting from his body. It turned out that after killing a large number of camel beasts, Lin Haoyang's body was once again covered by killing intense. I am afraid that it will not take long for him to condense into a killing intent sword light again. 22%. Chapter 130 Treasure House. This time the killing intent is different from the previous ones. The killing intent obtained in the Shuyang Mountain trial is the killing intent contained in the secret realm. Lin Haoyang had to kill the black demonic beasts and it would be automatically obtained. But this time, Lin Haoyang was gathered through killing, so that the killing intent was purer and more powerful. Half an hour later, the white mist around Lin Haoyang trembled and Lin Haoyang hurriedly urged the killing of words. Under the action of Fahui, Lin Haoyang's white killing intent all over his body seemed to have found a catharsis, converging crazily towards one point. When all the fog had condensed at one point, Lin Haoyang urged the magic, and that point suddenly turned into a white sword light. Lin Haoyang could feel the cold air above. The power of this killing intent sword light might not be less than the power of the Dragon Abyss sword. The full blow. Although the killing intent sword light is powerful, it cannot be used at will. Lin Haoyang is not a person who likes to kill. This time the condensed sword light is mostly demonic beasts. In this way, if I want to gather another killing intent sword light, I don't know when. Scattering the killing intent sword light and hiding it in the flesh and blood of his body, Lin Haoyang became alert again. After half an hour, the chaos outside has basically subsided, and the escaping camel beast was also retrieved by the cultivator of the dry fire pavilion. At this moment, there was a chill in the stronghold. According to statistics, Lin Haoyang beheaded a total of 53 demonic beasts and injured 16 of them. Only 34 were left intact. Among them, the Huolin horse was killed 42, Sharia 11, and some camel beasts were not greeted by Lin Haoyang but suffered some injuries. Such a loss, dry fire pavilion is considered to have hurt their muscles and bones. Even if Dong sect wants to cooperate with them now, I am afraid it will be difficult for them to do. Without the camel beast, such a huge spiritual rice would not be transported back to dry fire pavilion. After the incident, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building stationed here immediately took out a sound transmission talisman and informed Waynes about the incident. He knew that if he dared to conceal something, he might be annoyed by Waynes. Slapped to death. Wei Enz had been at the edge of the city for a while and wanted to do something against Lin Qianlong and the others, but he never saw Lin Qianlong and the others leave the city, so he knew that he had leaked the news. But Wei Enz was really unwilling, and wanted to wait another half a month to see if Lin Qianlong could hold it back. But when Lin Qianlong returned to Tiger's 11th night, the music-seeking talisman he had left at the 3rd-tier stronghold of Qianwo Pavilion suddenly flew over. Seeing this sound transmission note, Wei Enz's heart jumped, and a bad premonition surged in his heart. When he opened the sound search note, he felt a thunderbolt in the sky. Most of the camel beast loss he brought, even the enemy didn't know who it was, and the sneak attack failed, but the backyard caught fire first. Wei Enz didn't dare to stay any longer, and immediately left the vicinity of Tiger City with the people from Dry Fire Pavilion. All of this had already been noticed by Lin Qianlong. As soon as Wei Enz left, Lin Qianlong immediately left Huju City with his team and hurried towards Wuguo. The crisis on Lin Qianlong's side was lifted, but Lin Haoyang was still in trouble. When the people in Dry Fire Pavilion discovered that the Camel Beast Gate was in turmoil, they had already blocked the formation, and the entire formation could not be accessed. They used to go out to hunt wild beasts every day, but now there are more than 10 dead, and there are a large number of corpses of fire beasts, so there is no need to worry about Shiri beasts. At present, all of this stronghold is under martial law, and the place that controls the formation is guarded by 2 foundation building cultivators, and the Camel Beast Gate is guarded by the 9-story foundation building cultivator personally. The sword that Guangkong Lin Haoyang displayed made the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building understand that no one in this stronghold was Lin Haoyang's opponent. As long as they guard the remaining camel beasts and prevent Lin Haoyang from leaving, they are a big job, and they will be able to capture Lin Haoyang until Wei Enz returns. So he didn't want to have a head-on conflict with Lin Haoyang again. Fortunately, he stopped sending people to search for Lin Haoyang, and narrowed all his confession to 2 places. As a result, Lin Haoyang was indeed even more embarrassed. Originally, he wanted to take advantage of the chaos to destroy the formation and escape directly, but he didn't expect the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building to react so quickly. As soon as the incident happened, the formation was closed, so that Lin Haoyang had to flee in the future. Since you shrink one place, I'm going to take a good stroll here. Lin Haoyang muttered to himself. This stronghold is the remote checkpoint of the Dry Fire Pavilion, which is used to pay attention to the movements of the East River sect. Usually, some of the surrounding output will be transported here first, and then transferred back to the Dry Fire Pavilion Mountain Gate. And what Lin Haoyang was aiming at was naturally the treasure house of this stronghold. Since they contracted one place and wanted to encircle Lin Haoyang, then he would drew everything from the bottom of the pot and drew it away. Lin Haoyang, who bears the Buddha's profound art, is extremely sensitive to spirit power, and a place like the treasure house is the place where spirit power converges. It only took a stick of incense for Lin Haoyang to determine the location of the treasure house. To be able to find the treasure house so easily is due to the power of the Buddha's profound reality art. Generally, those who can threaten the treasure house must have irresistible enemies. In this case, the cultivator stationed here has already emptied the treasure house and escaped, so where can it be the turn of outsiders? The treasure house of this stronghold is under a loft. Presumably the owner of this loft should be the 9-story cultivator of the foundation building. Entering the attic, they are just ordinary furniture, which is not valuable. Also, ordinary cultivators will carry their own property with them, or hide them somewhere, and will not put them in the immortal cave at will. Suddenly, a map on the table caught his attention. Lin Haoyang picked up the map and found that it was a deserted map. This map depicts the wild map along the Qianwo Pavilion, which also mark the nests of Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5 demonic beasts, and even the location of some mineral deposits. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. The value of this map is not low, and it is extremely useful for Lin Haoyang. The wild map is very precious. The Dry Fire Pavilion is adjacent to the Azure Cloud sect. If you enter the realm of the Dry Fire Pavilion in the future, it will be much safer to have this map. Presumably, this map was also prepared by the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building for the wasteland reclamation season, but when the incident happened just now, he rushed out immediately and forgot to put this map in his storage bag. Except for this map, there is nothing valuable in this attic, and Lin Haoyang rarely wastes time anymore, wanting to rush to the treasure house to have a look. There must be a secret road to the treasure house, and this secret road is only known by the foundation building cultivator of Qianwo Pavilion, but Lin Haoyang did not intend to take the secret road. He took out the Longyuan sword and poured spirit power into the sword, and the body of the Longyuan sword trembled slightly. Under Lin Haoyang's control, the Longyuan sword spun quickly, and then slammed into the ground. The floor of this pavilion was originally a very hard second-order stone, but under the fourth-order lower-grade Longyuan sword, this kind of stone became the same as paper. Soon, the Longyuan sword went deep into the ground. Husband. Ding. With a soft sound, Long Yuanjian was hindered by something, but it failed to pierce it. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang smiled instead. If there were no obstacles to pass through easily, Lin Haoyang would be surprised. After all, this is a treasure house of others, how can there be no defense? Lin Haoyang's hand seal changed again. Long Yuanjian's whole body spirit power was abundant, the power of Tier 4 magical item was revealed, and the guardian thing outside the treasury was shattered. At the moment Long Yuan's sword entered the treasure house, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building in the Dry Fire Pavilion looked extremely gloomy and said cruelly. Let you run wild for a while, come back on behalf of Elder, you have to spit out as much as you eat. 22%. Chapter 131 Earth Vein. After Long Yuanjian broke into the treasure house, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed, and no longer hesitated, he jumped into the hole opened by Long Yuanjian. From the opening of Long Yuan, it can be seen that there is a rune shrouded in the treasure house. This rune has the function of covering spirit power and protection. Similar runes will be arranged outside the general treasure house. If it weren't for Lin Haoyang's cultivation to have the true art of the floating Tushuan, and with this kind of rune, Lin Haoyang would not find the treasure house so easily. Entering the treasure house, Lin Haoyang urged a group of real fire to illuminate the cave. He knew that the people in Dry Huo Pavilion could only watch him move out of this place now, and would not make a move. Once they make a move, Lin Haoyang will be able to find the flaw, and when that happens, Lin Haoyang will be able to rush out of this mountain protection formation. With the real fire shining, the entire treasure house appeared in Lin Haoyang's eyes. The treasure house was not big, it was 10 meters in size, but the contents inside really made Lin Haoyang jealous. There are no spirit stones stored in it. There are only 3 kinds of spirit objects on the outsole, 1 kind of brown metal, 1 kind of golden ore, and 1 kind of second-order spirit wood. Come to think of it, these are the output of this stronghold in the past year, and the future and handing over to the Dry Fire Pavilion, on the contrary, make Lin Haoyang cheaper. Although these items are not well known for the time being, Lin Haoyang is sure that they can definitely be used to refine magical items, no matter how many. Open the storage bag and put all these collections in the storage bag. Lin Haoyang's storage bag had reached the 3rd tier top grade by now, but he barely contained these things. Taking away the spiritual objects in the treasure house, there is no longer anything that Lin Haoyang has nostalgic for in this stronghold. He has to find a way to leave now, otherwise Wei Ens and others will come back and they will really become a turtle in the urn. Back on the ground, Lin Haoyang frowned and the foundation building cultivator of the Dry Fire Pavilion was firmly guarding the formation. If he attacked, he might just throw himself into the trap. This method is not feasible. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang remembered that when Lin Xuanjia arranged the mountain protection formation, he was looking for the ground veins and relying on the strength of the ground veins to build it. I am afraid that the mountain protection of this stronghold is also built on the ground. This type of mountain protection formation mainly defends against enemies outside the formation. If you want to trap the enemies in the formation, the effect will be much worse. This is also the reason why the cultivator on the 9th floor of the Dryfire Pavilion Foundation building shrinks its manpower. He didn't have absolute certainty, just relying on formation. 9 can trap Lin Haoyang. Since this formation is also built on the ground veins, if it destroys the ground veins, this mountain protection formation will not break itself. However, the veins are deeply buried in the ground, and Lin Haoyang doesn't know much about formation. If you want to find the veins, you may have to open up the whole area. Just when Lin Haoyang was at a loss, there was a touch from his dantian. Lin Haoyang hurriedly looked inside and found that Yuke, who had been silent for a long time, was moving again. Lin Haoyang was happy, thinking of that little dragon, which was a relic of the immortal realm. He was very familiar with spirit veins. If there were towers, it would be easier to find earth veins. After waiting for a while, the dragon spirit on the Jade Fault completely recovered, and the little golden dragon flew out of the Jade Fault and wandered in the sea of Lin Haoyang's spirit power, looking extremely comfortable. Lin Haoyang's heart moved, and a divine sense phantom was formed in own dantian. When Xiaolong saw the phantom, he took the initiative to swim towards Lin Haoyang and wrapped it around Lin Haoyang's arm, looking very kind. It was the first time that Lin Haoyang saw Xiaolong like this. Last time in the Shuyang Mountain secret realm, Lin Haoyang's Lingtai was invaded by killing intent, and Lin Haoyang didn't have time to learn more about Xiaolong. In this way, this little guy is still very cute. Xiaolong and Lin Haoyang entangled for a while before returning to the Sea of Spirit Power. Do you want to find the ground vein? Xiaolong asked. Lin Haoyang nodded and said, I'm trapped in this mountain protection formation now, and there are enemies defending the front. I can't break this formation at all. Only when I find the veins, I have a chance to rush out. Xiaolong swam for a while in Lin Haoyang's spirit power ocean, and said, whether it is a spiritual vein or a dragon vein, it is a kind of earth vein, but the spirit power that is nurtured is more pure. Generally, it is the mother vein of the earth that is used to build the formation, so that it can reach the level of supporting the formation. Lin Haoyang frowned. It was the first time he heard of the mother line of the earth. However, the ground veins here are not called maternal veins. At best they can be regarded as child veins. Only ground veins that can breed special spiritual veins such as dragon veins and phoenix veins, or ground veins of spirit veins above the 8th rank, can be regarded as mother veins. Xiao Jinlong said again. Lin Haoyang was shocked. The preciousness of the dragon veins and phoenix veins can be imagined. Even the 8th rank spirit veins are legendary. Then you are sure to locate the location of the veins here? Lin Haoyang asked. Although I have absorbed some dragon veins, I haven't fully recovered. If I want to locate the 5th rank ground veins, then I can't do it, but here are only some 3rd rank ground veins, so it's much easier. After the little golden dragon finished speaking, he jumped and flew directly into Lin Haoyang's divine sense body. The little golden dragon's voice appeared in Lin Haoyang's mind again. I will share my vision with you now. You pay attention to the location of the earth veins. Immediately afterwards, Lin Haoyang's vision changed, and the things of the original world gradually disappeared. The first thing that appeared in his eyes was a long golden thread, which was crawling underground, motionless. This is the spiritual vein here, metallic, 3rd tier top grade. Don't look at it as small, but when you get to it, you will know how big it is. Xiao Jinlong said again. Afterwards, Lin Haoyang's eyes turned a few more thin lines, but these lines were not as conspicuous as the previous ones, but were stronger. Lin Haoyang knew that these were the veins buried in the ground. And the mountain protection formation here was built on these ground veins. Through the little golden dragon's field of vision, Lin Haoyang could see that on the strongest ground vein, there was a rune chain linked to it. And the other end of the rune chain is connected to the mountain protection formation. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed, knowing that this ground vein was the ground vein on which the Qianwo Pavilion mountain protection array relied. As long as it could interfere with this ground vein, the mountain protection formation here would not break through. Well, I can help you, that's all. What happens next is up to you. After the little Jinlong finished speaking, he retreated from Lin Haoyang's body. After that, Lin Haoyang's vision resumed as usual, but the location of the ground vein linked to the mountain protection formation had been deeply carved into Lin Haoyang's mind. Afterwards, Xiao Jinlong also returned to Yuke, and Lin Haoyang's dantian regained peace. Outside, Lin Haoyang opened his eyes. A flash of light flashed in his eyes, and when he slapped the storage bag, the long yuanjian appeared in Lin Haoyang's hands. Now that he had found the definite location of the earth veins, Lin Haoyang couldn't wait any longer, and it changed later. The veins are deeply buried in the ground, and it is not easy for Lin Haoyang to destroy it. Only when he goes all out can it be possible. Moreover, the foundation building cultivator of Dry Fire Pavilion found that he was destroying the ground veins, and he would definitely not wait to be killed anymore. He would definitely attack with all his strength, so there was not much time left for him. Lin Haoyang came to the top of the ground vein, and the long yuan sword in his hand plunged into the ground at an extremely fast speed. Under the long yuan sword, it was the ground vein linked by the mountain guarding formation. 22%. Chapter 132 Escape. Under Lin Haoyang's control, the long yuan sword headed straight for the veins deep underground. The ground veins are formed naturally, generally more than 100 meters deep underground. Such a distance, if you don't know the exact location, it is impossible to damage the ground veins. But with the help of Xiao Jinlong, Lin Haoyang had already found the exact location of the earth veins, so the matter was much simpler. Just as Lin Haoyang attacked the earth veins, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building of the Dry Fire Pavilion's complexion changed, and he also sensed Lin Haoyang's attempt. He had the control token of the mountain protection formation in his hand, and all the changes of the protection formation could not escape his perception. Of course, Lin Haoyang could not hide it from him if he wanted to destroy the earth veins. Quickly, everyone will follow me to chase down the enemy. He wants to destroy the ground veins of the Great Mountain Guardian Formation. The 9th floor of the foundation building gave a soft drink and rushed out first. In fact, he was even more shocked in his heart. It really couldn't think of how Lin Haoyang could easily find the ground veins, unless the intruder was a Tier 4 formation master. But at this moment, he can't tolerate any more guesses. If Lin Haoyang is allowed to destroy the veins and run out, I am afraid that he will really be unable to escape. The cultivator of the Dry Fire Pavilion on the 9th floor of the foundation building came with great speed, and the other 3 foundation building cultivators were also behind them. A total of 4 foundation building cultivators went straight to Lin Haoyang. At this moment, Long Yuan was still underground, and Lin Haoyang could only use the Zunyuan sword. Although the Zunyuan sword was a Tier 3 top grade, it was still a bit worse for this situation. The first cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building offered a candle, and with his urging, a flame went straight to Lin Haoyang's front door. This flame was so powerful that Lin Haoyang didn't dare to let it attack, so he had to turn around Zunyuan and stand in front of him. Seeing that the flames he released were blocked, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building was heartbroken and urged the candle lights to smash at Lin Haoyang, trying to stop Lin Haoyang from continuing to destroy the ground veins. But where would Lin Haoyang give him a chance? His hand made a rush. The black glow on Shuan Yuanjian's body rose so much that he couldn't even enter the flame of the candlelight, and he slashed again, splitting the big flames, and fell in love with one sword. Above the candle light, a violent attack hit, and the candlelight was smashed and flew back. Seeing this, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building was shocked. Lin Haoyang showed a bit too strong. At this time, the other 3 foundation building finally felt his side, and they felt relieved, saying, "Hurry up and use magical powers and take them down." But when he yelled this, the mountain guard array trembled abruptly. Just now, Lin Haoyang's long yuan sword slashed on the rune connected to the array. After the long yuan sword was cut, the chain of rune was cut immediately, losing the support of the power of the earth veins, and this large formation became the 5-rooted tree. It has not directly collapsed, but there is still a vein cultivator. Just hold on. But now the mountain guarding formation could not stop Lin Haoyang, and Lin Haoyang no longer had any fears without his worries. At the moment when the big formation trembled, the 4 of Qianwoj hesitated. Lin Haoyang seized the opportunity, and he boldly played out the technique, and went straight to the cultivation base's weakest foundation building early stage cultivator. With Lin Haoyang's current divine sense strength, it is completely crushing the foundation building early stage cultivator, and when he is not paying attention, he is about to lose his mind. Just when everyone was not paying attention, a killing intent sword light suddenly appeared beside the 4 of them. The cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building reacted and found that the foundation building early stage cultivator was in an incorrect state. He slapped the storage bag and wanted to offer a defense magical item to help it block 1 or 2, but it was too late at this moment. Originally, they wanted to capture Lin Haoyang, but they were already less than 100 meters away from Lin Haoyang. At this distance, the killing intent sword light was fleeting. Puff! Without the slightest resistance, the foundation building early stage cultivator had already separated the corpse and the head was in a different place. Seeing the foundation building early stage cultivator was only beheaded in an instant, the other three foundation buildings were also shocked, but Lin Haoyang did not expect Lin Haoyang to have such a method. When the three of them were silent, a black shadow suddenly rushed out of the ground. It was the Dragon Abyss sword that had dived into the ground. Taking advantage of this period of time, it returned to Lin Haoyang's hands again. With the Dragon Abyss sword, Lin Haoyang added wings like a tiger, and immediately urged Lu Ying. The Dragon Abyss sword, like an arrow from the string, went straight to a foundation building middle stage cultivator in the dry fire pavilion. At this moment, the candlelight of the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building is still resisting the Zunyuan sword, unable to tell the smashed Longyuan sword. But this person is ultimately the cultivator of the 9th floor of the foundation building. He has been in this realm for many years, and his wealth is richer. With a wave of his hand, a tortoise shell flew out. Long Yuan fought on the tortoise shell with a sword, but was bounced off by the tortoise shell, making Lin Haoyang unable to make a contribution with this blow. However, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building of the dry fire pavilion changed his face. Just now, Lin Haoyang used a sword to cut the tortoiseshell spirit power directly into the dark. I am afraid that this third-tier top-grade tortoiseshell will be destroyed if he is cut a few more times. The cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building was scared. He is now uncertain about Lin Haoyang's strength. Just now, he has determined that Long Yuan is a 4th-order low-grade flying sword. With the lower-grade magical item of Tier 4 in hand, he knew that it would be difficult to win Lin Haoyang with the 3 foundation buildings alone, but if they only need to stop Lin Haoyang, a large number of cultivators will come. There are a large number of pulse-condensing cultivators. Even if Lin Haoyang has Tier 4 magical item in hand, they are sure to win him. But where would Lin Haoyang give them the opportunity to retract the Zunyuan sword, once again spurring the Longyuan sword to slash, and secretly urging Sol to hit the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building? After a sword was slashed, Lin Haoyang no longer stayed, and immediately fled with his sword. The current mountain guard formation was not supported by the ground veins, so Lin Haoyang could easily cut a hole with a single sword. When the Zunyuan sword retreated, the 3 foundation buildings also attacked each other, barely repelling the one cut of the Longyuan sword. The 3 foundation building cultivators just wanted to set off to stop Lin Haoyang. The soul-fixing technique just penetrated into the eyebrows of the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building. The eyebrows of the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building hurt. He immediately remembered Lin Haoyang's weird killing intent before. Wherever he dared to chase again, he immediately blocked the 2 foundation building middle stage cultivators in front of him. Because of the timidity of the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building, the best time to intercept Lin Haoyang has been lost. The 3 cultivators of the dry fire pavilion watched Lin Haoyang escape. After Lin Haoyang cut off the mountain protection formation, he immediately used his escape method to escape far away, and the direction of his escape was not in the direction of Qingyunzong but in the direction of Donghazong. In this way, even if Qianwo Pavilion had some guesses, it would not be able to put pressure on the Azure Cloud sect without evidence. Because, from beginning to end, Lin Haoyang has always used the image of Wu Huan, and he himself has not exposed. Seeing Lin Haoyang successfully escaped, the 3 foundation building cultivators of Dry Fire Pavilion were all ashamed. In this situation, no matter what explanation is given, I am afraid Dry Fire Pavilion will give a heavy mouth to 3 people. On the 9th floor of the foundation building, the cultivator fought Diva in his heart, and finally said, "Going back to sect like this, I am afraid that it is inevitable to die, so I decided not to return to sect. You too, you can do it yourself." After that, the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building set up a escape, without stopping at all, and flew straight to the outside of the mountain protection formation. The 2 met once and saw the helplessness and hatred in each other's eyes. However, as the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building said, there is absolutely no escape from staying here. It is better to run away and save a life. Having said that, the 2 also rushed out of the mountain protection formation, and flew separately at the end of the disaster. As for the cultivators who came here, they were all cursing in their hearts, but most of these people came from sect and they were Wei Enz's confidants. Instead of running away, these people suppressed everyone's resistance and waited for Wei En's arrival. Lin Haoyang circled the Dong sect and spent a month before catching up with the Lin family's camel team. 22%. Chapter 133. When Lin Haoyang caught up with Lin Ganlong and the others, the camel team had already returned to the Qingyunzong territory and was rushing to the Lin family. Everyone was shocked when they heard that Lin Haoyang destroyed the stronghold of Dry Fire Pavilion and killed more than half of the camel beasts. Seeing Wei Xiao's withdraw a few days ago, they guessed that Lin Haoyang had already succeeded and could lead Wei En's to withdraw. The damage was certainly not small, but no one thought that Lin Haoyang's actions would be so big. This matter is not only their Lin family can decide, this matter must be reported to Qingyunzong, otherwise if Qianwo Pavilion retaliates, the Lin family can't bear the anger. Fortunately, Lin Haoyang did not reveal his identity. Even if Qianwo guessed, he could not be directly convicted. But it is true that Wei En's is preparing to attack the Lin family convoy. As long as Qingyunzong puts pressure first, Qianwo will only be doomed to eat coptis, and there is no way to tell. In addition to this, there was something else that caused Lin Haoyang's headache. This time he went to Dong sect and he was delayed for 5 months. The original task of 2 million caddies of rice a year was only half completed. It is even more difficult to monopolize the spiritual rice, unless the Lin family can find more camels, otherwise, the spirit stones can only be watched but not earned. The Azure Cloud sect was also uncomfortable at the beginning and end, and it was already difficult to send the camel beast to the Lin family again. Only they could solve this problem by themselves. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang remembered the waterways of the Dong sect. Dong sect was able to build waterways to transport Ling rice, so can they also build a grain road to transport Ling rice? Soon, Lin Haoyang told Lin Qianlong and others about his own idea, and everyone was very moved after listening. Although there are not many rivers in Qingyunzong, they can be transported by road. These camel beasts are only responsible for transporting Lingmi from Dong sect to the hinterland of Qingyun sect. Arriving in the hinterland of Qingyun sect, wanting to pay attention to Lingmi again is to offend Qingyunzong, which is equivalent to pulling teeth from the mouth of a tiger. The transportation of spiritual rice does not necessarily rely entirely on camel beasts, but can also be handed over to mortals. Although mortals can transport a small amount at a time, they are better than the number of people. Transportation of Ling rice is no worse than camel beasts. In this way, the camel beast of the Lin family can be divided into 2 parts. One part transports the spirit rice from the Dong sect to the hinterland of the Qingyunzong, and the other part transports the spirit rice from the Lin family to all parts of the Qingyunzong. In this way, the camel beasts of the Lin family were barely enough. Lin Haoyang's opinion was unanimously approved by all the family owners, and this was the only feasible way to solve the current dilemma. Otherwise, not only is there nothing to be made in their spiritual rice trade, even the task of the Azure Cloud sect cannot be completed, and there is no money to make, and the other 3 can no longer fully support them. After some deliberation, everyone decided to establish another Tier 3 spirit vein at half the distance between the Lin family and Huju City. From here as a transit point, they began to use mortals to transport spirit rice. From this stronghold, the distance to the Lin family and Huju City is 1.5 months. The stronghold also needs to be guarded by the foundation building. In this way, the 4 family members are not enough. The transportation routes for mortals along the way also need a cultivator to guard, especially the foundation building cultivator. In this way, I am afraid that a group of foundation building cultivators have to be cultivated in the family, but the accumulation of the clansmen in the family is not enough. Lin Ganlong said sadly. Lin Haoyang said again, it doesn't have to be our own family's cultivator. Just like the Azure Cloud sect, we can hire rogue cultivators, as long as we give them annual gifts and give them some cultivation resources. Just like Chongshanlu, they hire a lot of rogue cultivators. Quote. Lin Qianlong frowned and said, although this plan is good, rogue cultivators are not their own after all. Will there be any problems? As long as the rewards we give are attractive enough, they have any reason to betray us. At the same time, we will sign a soul oath with them, and forgive them for not daring to play tricks. Lin Haoyang said again. Lin Haoyang's plan had already considered everything. It can be said to be perfect, and the other 3 patriarchs couldn't refute it. In the end, everyone agreed with Lin Haoyang's decision. But this matter has to be discussed later. First transport this batch of spiritual rice to Qingyunzong. After another 4 months, everyone in the Lin family finally transported the first batch of spiritual rice to Qingyunzong. The original Qingyunzong spiritual rice has reached the moment when it is no longer available. But now, with the batch of spiritual rice transported by the Lin family, the Qingyun sect can sustain it for a while. Most of the spiritual fields of the Qingyun sect have now been planted with stargrass, and there is not much spiritual rice produced. At present, only it can be supported by Lingmi shipped from the Lin family. In addition, Lin Qianlong will also build a grain road, and Lin Haoyang told Zhou Zunyuan about his sneak attack on the Dry Fire Pavilion's stronghold. These two things require the intervention of Qingyunzong. Zhou Zunyuan was very supportive of the food road, and sent 3 foundation building cultivators from spiritual roots to accompany the Lin family to build the food road and arrange a series of cumbersome tasks for mortals. As for inviting rogue cultivators, Lin Xuanjing is in charge. Lin Xuanjing has lived in Binduang City for many years and has a lot of friendship with rogue cultivators in Binduang City. At the same time, last time, he also went to the rogue cultivators where the tide fell. She also knows some. It is most appropriate for Lin Xuanjing to take charge of this matter. Therefore, as soon as the camel team arrived at Qingyunzong, Lin Xuanjing immediately went to Pingyang City to find suitable rogue cultivators. As for the Dry Fire Pavilion, Zhou Zunyuan had already put pressure on the Dry Fire Pavilion on behalf of Qingyun sect. Although Lin Haoyang destroyed the stronghold of Dry Fire Pavilion, the other party had no evidence and could not be counted as Qingyunzong's head. Due to the loss of a large number of camel beasts, the Dry Fire Pavilion could no longer purchase large quantities of Lingmi from the Dong sect, and there was also the oppression of the Azure Cloud sect. Unless Qianwo Pavilion and Qingyunzong completely tear their skins, and do not hesitate to fight, otherwise, Qianwo Pavilion will not send people to deal with the Lin family's camel team. On the surface, the Dry Fire Pavilion can no longer discharge the cultivator to cause trouble, but secretly no one can tell, so the Lin family cannot relax their vigilance, and still need a large number of cultivators to take care of the transportation of spiritual rice. Every time there are 100 or 200 people used to transport Lingmi, there are also foundation building and golden core cultivator. After this trip, there is no profit at all. However, there is no other way. The Lingmi trade has just been opened, and there are inevitably people watching. People who are jealous of money are never rare. Only the Lin family has established prestige and demonstrated its own strength. Only by gradually letting go and reducing manpower, will the Lin family begin to make money. Although Qingyunzong had put pressure on the Dry Fire Pavilion, he was still a little worried about the play behind the Dry Fire Pavilion, so he sent Song Zuan to follow the camel team to return to Tiger City. If the Dry Fire Pavilion really wants to play any tricks, there are 2 golden core cultivators, and the Dry Fire Pavilion will not be able to overcome too many storms. Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuancheng set off first. Lin Xuancheng is a 3rd order formation master. After purchasing a set of formations from the Qingyunzong, they must first cultivate spiritual veins and build formations. However, Lin Haoyang had to clear the roads and create conditions for mortals to transport spiritual rice. In addition to migrating some mortals to the vicinity of the grain road to provide protection for these mortals transporting spiritual rice, it was also a cumbersome task. Lin Haoyang mobilized 100,000 mortals from the 4 families to migrate to the vicinity of the Liangdao. He also ordered the soil spiritual roots cultivator to build a road, which was large enough for ox carts and horse-drawn carriages to pass. With roads, mortals can go back and forth once every 6 months, and twice a year. But they are better than the number of people. They can transport 1 million caddies of ling rice at one time, and exactly 2 million caddies of ling rice can be transported to Lin's house in 1 year. When the Lingmi arrives at Lin's house, it will be transported by the faster Qinglin horse to Qingyunzong, each time 500,000 caddies, which can also guarantee the needs of Qingyunzong. When the scale of the 4 camel beasts increases, the spiritual rice transported can be increased again. In this way, it can monopolize the spiritual rice trade in the areas under the jurisdiction of the Qingyunzong. By then, the Lin family will be the largest spiritual rice monopoly family. 22%. Chapter 134. The beginning of trade. It took Lin Haoyang half a year to complete the construction of the entire grain road. So far, Lin Haoyang has migrated to 50,000 mortals. These 50,000 mortals are young and powerful, hardworking and diligent. As for the family of these 50,000 people, because of the tight time, they will have to migrate later. With these 50,000 young and strong laborers, the Lin family's million caddies of ling rice can also be transported to the Lin family smoothly. As for the new transfer point, Lin Xuancheng chose a 2nd-order spiritual vein called Baihefeng. After Lin Xuancheng's cultivation, he successfully cultivated this mountain range into a third-order spiritual vein. At the same time, a third-tier medium-grade protective formation was built on this spiritual vein, so that safety is guaranteed. Inspired by the Dong sect, Lin Xuanjia also built a granary here that can hold 1,000,000 ling rice. With the granary, even if something goes wrong with the grain path, the ling rice can be safely hidden in Baihe Peak. The construction of Liangdao and Baihe Peak cost a total of 20,000 spirit stones. Of course, these spirit stones are divided among the 4 companies. The Lin family accounts for the most income and produces more spirit stones, requiring 11,000 spirit stones. In recent years, the Lin family's income has increased greatly, but before, in order to upgrade the Guardian formation of Baixiang Mountain to Tier 4, the spirit stones in the family have already spent almost the same. For the sake of emergency, Lin Haoyang did not produce a top-grade spirit stones for emergency. In these years, Lin Haoyang has supported the Lin family. I am afraid that there will be no less than 70,000 spirit stones. Just the foundation building Dan, Lin Haoyang donated 6, plus this top-grade spirit stones and Lin Haoyang Foundation building elder worship. Lin Haoyang in the family contribution points has almost reached 80,000. He has surpassed Lin Qianlong, the patriarch, and has become the person with the most contribution points in the clan. However, with the current ability of the clan, Lin Haoyang cannot be helped too much. In other words, Lin Haoyang's 80,000 contribution points are basically dead. No effect. Although these contributions are temporarily useless, when Lin Haoyang encounters a crisis, the clansmen will always be his backing. He has always remembered the scene when the whole clan launched a clan war for him, and felt that everything he had done was worthwhile. After Lin Xuanjing returned from Pingyang City, she brought back 4 foundation building cultivators, 3 foundation building early stage and 1 foundation building middle stage. For the 3 foundation building early stage cultivators, the Lin family gave an offering of 600 spirit stones a year, and the foundation building middle stage cultivator was an offering of 800 spirit stones a year. In addition, they can also exchange it from the Lin family. All resources are extremely important to them. In addition, almost a year later, Lin Xuancheng spent 2 foundation building Dan and strain of blood ginseng, and finally successfully advanced to the foundation building environment. It is extremely rare to be able to enter the foundation building at Lin Xuancheng's age. If it were not for Lin Haoyang's investment at all costs, I am afraid it would be impossible for Lin Xuancheng to enter the foundation building in his life. Lin Xuancheng stepped into the foundation building, the cultivation base added a lot of money, and his life was greatly increased, and Lin Xuancheng looked much younger. However, although Lin Xuancheng entered the foundation building realm, he was not transferred to the grain road. Instead, Lin Xuanlu was transferred to Baihe Peak. Lin Xuancheng's most important task now is to ascension the puppets to Tier 3. In this way, the Lin family can be stronger. With 5 more foundation building cultivators at once, the pressure on the Lin family is greatly reduced. Bai Hefeng stationed a total of 3 foundation building cultivators. In addition to Lin Xuanlu, there is also a robe cultivators and Bai Sixian. The 3 are responsible for the guarding of Bai Hefeng. On the way from the Lin family to Baihe Peak, Bai Zonkang and 3 other foundation building robe cultivators are in charge. At the same time, the Lin family also sent a large number of vein condensing cultivators stationed along the line. This way, even if something goes wrong, it will be very fast. Has been solved. Lin Qianlong took the 4 foundation building cultivators from Luan Ma's family and Qingyunzong cultivators such as Qzi and Song Ziwen to take the Lingmi to Baihe Peak. As for Lin Haoyang, Lin Xuanjia, and Lin Xuanjing, they were responsible for transporting the spirit rice from the Lin family to Qingyunzong. At the same time, 100,000 caddies of Lingmi should be sent to Pingyang City every year, but the output of the 4 families of these 100,000 caddies of Lingmi is completely enough, so don't transport them from Donghazong. Because of the pressure of the Azure Cloud sect, Qianwo Pavilion did not take action on the Lin family camel team. Although there was a golden core cultivator in the dark, they were quickly taken away by Lin Qianlong and Song Ziwen. Since then, no one has dared to do anything with the Lin family's spiritual rice trade, and the Lin family's spiritual rice trade has also expanded further. The Lin family supplies spiritual rice in the 3 robe cultivators zones near Bin Duong City. 3 years later, the Lin family's camel team filled more than a dozen Qinglin horses, which increased the Lin family's transportation capacity. In addition to Pingyang City, there are 2 Tier 4 strongholds in Qingyunzong adjacent to the wilds, Haoyuling and Beizong Mountain. Both are Tier 4 strongholds. The amount of spiritual rice needed for a year is about 400,000 jin. Pingyang City and the other 3 rogue cultivators only need 100,000 caddies of ling rice a year, while these 2 places need 400,000 caddies of ling rice. It is not that Pingyang City has a small population. It is not easy for rogue cultivators to earn spirit stones. Each spiritual vein has its own spiritual field. These 100,000 caddies of spiritual rice are their difference, and the demand is not met every year. The 2 strongholds of the Qingyan sect were planted with star-containing grasses, and in recent years there has been no production of ling rice. Despite the hardship, Lin Haoyang took the demand for these 2 Tier 4 spiritual veins, because in addition to the Qingyunzong's 2 million caddies of spiritual rice orders, these were the 4 channels for making money. After 3 years of investment, the 4 companies started to produce output, with an annual income of 500,000 caddies, which is the income of 30,000 spirit stones. Going out for some employment fees, the Lin family still has 10,000 spirit stones to earn, and the other 3 have 4,000 spirit stones to earn. With this item alone, the income of the 4 families has risen sharply, especially for the Lu family. The only output other than Lingmi is extremely cherished. In 3 years, Lin Haoyang's cultivator also came to the middle stage of the 6th floor of the foundation building, because in the trial of Shuyang Mountain, the shortcomings of cultivation base ascension were also eliminated, and cultivation can be accelerated. In the past 3 years, Bai Qingyan's cultivation base finally surpassed Lin Haoyang, successfully breaking through the 6th floor of the foundation building and stepping into the 7th floor of the foundation building. Lin Xuanlin and cultivation base also reached the late stage of the 5th floor of the foundation building, a step far. Even Lin Xiaowen, under the full cultivation of the Lin family, the cultivation base has also advanced by leaps and bounds. It has reached the 8th floor of condensing vein, and it is not far away from the 9th floor of condensing vein, and then the foundation building is not far away. In addition, Bai Zonkang attracts the most attention. After years of hard work, he finally stepped into the 9th floor of the foundation building 2 years ago and is now consolidating the cultivation base. Until the purple cloud crystal vein produces purple cloud crystal again, he can try to break through the golden core realm. After 3 years of accumulation, Lin Qianlong finally felt that Lin Shufeng and Lin Shuyun had enough accumulation and exchanged 2 foundation building dans for them. The 2 originally thought that the family had given all the foundation building dans to the other 3, and even wanted Lin Xuancheng to spend 2 foundation building dans and would not allow them to exchange for the foundation building dans. They had grievances in their hearts until Lin Qianlong found them. It was said that the cultivation base of the 2 of them was still shallow and did not have enough accumulation, so that they have been holding the foundation building dan but not. Now after years of tempering, the 2 have a solid background. Only then did the foundation building dan be exchanged for the 2 to avoid the 2. After rushing forward, the foundation building failed. Suddenly, the 2 of them no longer complained, the grievances in their hearts were eliminated, and their ideas were clear, and the chance of foundation building increased by 10%. Under this, the 2 started closed-door training. As for the other foundation building pill, Lin Qianlong had already planned, it was reserved for the rising star Lin Xiaowen who has different spiritual roots. 23%. Chapter 135 Spirit Stones Mine. The development of the Lin family has entered a stable period. As long as they are given enough time, they will be able to nurture enough powerhouses. After the spiritual rice trade, although the Lin family is busy, the spirit stones earned have also become more and can be exchanged. Get more resources. In addition, the Lin family's magic armors have also become well known. In 4 years, in addition to the 4 magic armors sold to the East River sect, the Lin family themselves also left 4 sets. 4 sets of 36 pairs, the first to be equipped is the Zontang disciples. These 36 people will be the core combat power of the Lin family Ningmei cultivator, equivalent to the 4 early-stage Ningmei cultivators. With such a profit, even the Azure Cloud sect wanted to intervene, but it was stopped by Zuo Qianji. Lin Haoyang was a man of great fortune, and the chance of becoming a nascent soul in the future was very high, coupled with the relationship with the Chongshan Tower. If this offends the entire Lin family, I am afraid that the gain will not be worth the loss. Zhou Zunyuan waits for Golden Core Elder to give up. Otherwise, even though there is a Golden Core Elder in the Lin family, the Azure Cloud sect will force it in and take some of the benefits. However, Lin Qianlong didn't care much about this matter. After exploration, this Wujin mine was not very big. If it was mined for 2 or 3 years, it might be exhausted. At that time, the Lin family will not have the Wujin armor, and the cooperation between the Dong sect and the Lin family will inevitably be loosened. Therefore, the Lin family is fully supporting Lin Xuancheng's breakthrough of the Third Order Puppet Master. Once Lin Xuancheng became a Tier 3 Puppet Master, the transaction with Dong sect could continue. Just after the Wujin mine incident was suppressed, an even more sensational incident spread throughout the Qingyunzong territory, even the city of Pingyang. I heard that a Spirit Stones mine was discovered in the wild border between Azure Cloud School and Dry Fire Pavilion. Moreover, it is still a medium-sized Spirit Stones mine. If it is mined, it can produce 50,000 Spirit Stones every year. The Spirit Stones mine is very precious. There are only one medium-sized Spirit Stones mine and two small-sized Spirit Stones mines in the entire Azure Cloud sect. It can be seen that the discovery of this Spirit Stones mine will surely cause two crazy competitions. Today, the demonic beast's army has not retreated, and the two nascent soul cultivators cannot be moved lightly. Only the Golden Core and the Foundation Building Cultivator are sent to compete. Behind the Azure Cloud sect is the Chongshan Tower, and behind the Dry Fire Pavilion is the Baixianmen, the old rival of the Chongshan Tower. Even the 6th rank forces, the medium-grade Spirit Stones mines in the territory are very rare. Therefore, for this Spirit Stones mine, the two companies will inevitably also intervene. Lin Haoyang had a hunch that the Azure Cloud sect's levying order would be issued soon, and as expected, the news had just been released 3 days before the Azure Cloud sect had issued the order. Each of the 4 foundation building families sent the strongest person, while the Lin family required all 3 of Lin Qianlong, Lin Haoyang, and Lin Xuanjia to play. Lin Qianlong is a golden core cultivator. Lin Haoyang has superior combat power, not weaker than the 9-story cultivator of the foundation building, and Lin Xuanjia is a 3rd-tier top-grade formation division. A year ago, Lin Xuanjia had just been promoted to become a 3rd-tier top-grade formation division. With such a deployment of manpower, the Lin family's spiritual rice trade was forced to cease operation. Without the golden core cultivator and numerous foundation building late stages, they could not stop the invading enemy. Since transporting Lingmi will inevitably suffer a plain loss, it is better to stay at home and wait for the dispute to end. In the Chongshan Tower, Su Qin and Ziyan made the shot together. 10 foundation building cultivators came with Pingyang City. The other 2 rogue cultivators hills also made up 10 people. Chongshan Tower plus rogue cultivators, there are 2 golden cores and 20 foundation building cultivators. In addition to the 4 cultivators, there are 3 golden cores and 25 foundation building cultivators. This force is not weak anymore, even the Azure Cloud sect does not dare to look down upon it. And Qingyunzong himself, for this Spirit Stones mine, sent 70 foundation building cultivators and 5 golden core. Zhou Zunyuan, Song Ziwen, Hu Weiwei, Tang Shaik, and Li Muxian are 5 golden cores. Among them, Hu Weiwei's cultivation base is the highest, with golden core 8th floor. Zhou Zunyuan, Tang Shaik, and Li Muxian have been in Elder for many years, but cultivation base is still in the golden core middle stage. As for Song Ziwen, he just broke through the golden core 2nd floor half a year ago. The strength is the weakest. Sect has 7 golden core cultivators. 5 of them have been dispatched. It can be said that they have come out. Only Zhou Juntao and Wang Xiaoyang are left in sect. This time, even the seeds cultivated by sect, Lin Xuanlin and Bai Qingyan, were dispatched. Although the 2 are important to sect, their cultivation base is no longer weak, and they are destined to be unable to escape this time. Qingyunzong lost 3 golden core cultivators 10 years ago, and the high-level combat power was greatly reduced. In recent years, although Lin Qianlong and Song Ziwen have been added, there is no golden core 9th-level master, and Su Qin alone supports it. Whether it is Hu Weiwei or Ziyan, they are still only on the 8th floor of golden core, and have not stepped into the state of the 9th floor of golden core. However, Su Qin has been on the 9th floor of the golden core for many years, and he has failed to make a baby once, and his strength is stronger than the average golden core 9th floor. It can be called a fake baby realm. If Tian Zhen does not die, Azure Cloud sect is bound to have one more golden core master, and there is no need to be afraid of Qianwo Pavilion. Because they are all cultivators above the foundation building, they can fly with swords, and the speed of the journey is very fast. It took the Lin family a month and a half to arrive, because Lin Qianlong almost rushed to the 2 borders from Baihei Peak. The place where the Spirit Stones mine was found was just an inconspicuous Tier 3 spirit vein Bikuan Mountain. On Bikuan Mountain, there is a nest of blue-eyed vipers that have just migrated from the demonic beasts army, a 3rd-order top-grade demonic beasts. This blue-eyed viper is not only powerful, but also the main material for refining a Tier 4 medicine pill. In the past few years, demonic beasts have stabilized, and only 2 cultivators have set their sights on Bikwan Mountain. Unexpectedly, when the 2 cultivators rushed to Bikwan Mountain, they suddenly felt a strong spiritual chi, which surpassed the 5th order spiritual vein. Moreover, with such a strong spirit power, the strongest blue-eye viper successfully advanced to the 4th rank demonic beasts with the help of this strong spiritual chi. Even the number of Tier 3 demon snakes has increased dramatically, reaching more than 20, and the number of low-level demon snakes has reached more than 1,000. Under Tier 4 Blue-Eye Viper, 2 cultivators suffered heavy losses, but they still sent the news back to Qingyunzong and Qianwo Pavilion. This kind of rich spiritual chi can even help demonic beasts advance. There is only one possibility, that is, there is a vein of spirit stones under Bikwan Mountain, and the scale is not small. The reason why the 2 cultivators did not find a spirit stones mineral vein here, because this place is the junction of the 2 cultivators, the exploration of this place by both sides is hindered by the other side cannot be exhausted. As soon as the blue-eyed viper came, the spirit stones mine here appeared. It should be that these snakes, demonic beasts, accidentally dug through the spirit stones mine when they drilled the hole, and they kept using the rich spirit power inside. Advance until the arrival of 2 cultivators. When Lin Haoyang rushed to the vicinity of Qingyunzong in Bikwan Mountain, what he saw was more complicated than he thought. Because, not only Qingyunzong and Dryfire Pavilion were competing for this spirit stones mine, but demonic beasts also got involved. And now it is the demonic beasts who occupy Bikwan Mountain. In the small Bikwan Mountain, 1 Tier 5 demonic beasts and 4 Tier 4 demonic beasts have gathered at this moment, and the low-level demonic beasts are even more vast. I am afraid there are tens of thousands of them. The reason for this only Tier 5 demonic beasts is probably the restraint of 2 nascent soul cultivators. Otherwise, the 2 wild first-line Tier 5 demonic beasts will come in. I am afraid that there are no 2 sect scenes at all. This spirit stones mine will also be completely occupied by demonic beasts. 23%. Chapter 136 Attacking the Mountain. Tier 4 demonic beasts are not to be feared. The Tier 5 demonic beasts is the biggest obstacle to blocking the 2 cases. The strength of Tier 5 demonic beasts is comparable to nascent soul cultivator, and even the wisdom has reached the adult level. If Qingyunzong alone wants to attack Bikwan Mountain, it will not be easy. Now it is the siege of Qianwo Pavilion in Qingyunzong, and this Tier 5 demonic beasts is not to be feared. But Zhou Zunyuan, as the person in charge, still set his sights on Su Qin. Su Qin comes from the 6th rank force and is also a fake baby cultivation base. If Tier 5 demonic beasts strike, only he can stop 1 or 2. Seeing Zhou Zunyuan's arrival, Su Qin slowly nodded. The Tier 5 magical item given by his elders in his family was in the state of a fake baby. To deal with a Tier 5 early stage demonic beasts, not to mention beheading, only to block 1 or 2, he thinks he can still do it. With Su Qin's affirmative answer, Zhou Zunyuan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Since there is no nascent soul cultivator in charge, the Azure Cloud sect will have to pay a huge price for attacking Tier 5 demonic beasts. Everyone, now that the arrow is on the line, we have to send it out. We have reached an agreement with Dryfire Pavilion. Whoever occupies the Spirit Stones mine first will return the Spirit Stones mine. So, no matter what, we have to occupy this Spirit Stones mine. Zhou Zunyuan encouraged. After speaking, Zhou Zunyuan and other 8 golden core cultivators rushed out first and went straight to the Spirit Stones mine. As the golden core cultivator set off first to block Tier 4 and Tier 5 demonic beasts, Lin Haoyang and these golden cores also set off to kill the place where the spiritual chi is strongest. Lin Haoyang and the other 5 did not separate. After finding Lin Xuanlin and Bai Qingyan, the 7 also raised flying sword to murder the Spirit Stones mine. At this moment, spiritual chi has already rushed into the sky on Beluo Mountain, and various attacking techniques have emerged one after another. Originally, there were only 20 Tier 3 demonic beasts in Beluo Mountain, but with the arrival of Tier 5 demonic beasts, a large number of Tier 3 demonic beasts were also brought. These Tier 3 demonic beasts are probably not a small number of 200. With such a scale, even 2 foundation building cultivators did not dare to venture into it, so they had to call on their friends and murderous at the Spirit Stones mine. Among the 7 Lin Haoyang, the weakest Lin Xuanjia, cultivation base is also the top of the 3rd floor of the foundation building, only 1 step away from the 4th floor of the foundation building. However, Lin Xuanjia is indeed a Tier 3 top grade formation master. With the mysterious formation unfolding, Tier 3 top-grade demonic beasts can hardly get into his body. In addition, there are 3 patriarchs Lu, Bai, and Ma, each of whom is a scheming man, and their strength has reached the late stage of the foundation building. Under the protection of Lin Xuanjia's formation, everyone cooperated and plunged straight into the spirit stone's mine like a sharp knife. Formation divisions are very rare. Lin Haoyang and others have the advantage of Shantian. Lin Xuanjia is present. They don't care about defense at all. As long as demonic beasts strike, they will be beheaded by Lin Haoyang and others. Even if it is the 3rd-tier top-grade demonic beasts, there are Lin Haoyang and Bai Zonkang on the 9th floor of the foundation building. It is not enough to be afraid. In just half an hour, the number of Tier 3 demonic beasts that died in their hands had reached about 20. The value of Tier 3 demonic beasts is not low, but Lin Haoyang and others just took the most valuable part of demonic beasts. As for the flesh and blood of demonic beasts, everyone can only leave it cruelly. They don't have so much time to deal with, nor do they. This is a big melee. Even the foundation building cultivator is just the most common combat power. If one falls into the siege of demonic beasts carelessly, he basically can only choose to escape. If he can't escape, I am afraid that he will die here. In just half an hour, the Azure Cloud sect had already lost 7 foundation building cultivators, and the Azure Cloud sect was also very heartbroken. But now is not the time to consider casualties. Only by taking the Spirit Stone's mine can make up for the loss. 7 Lin Haoyang opened their way in front, withstanding the greatest pressure. The cultivator of the Azure Cloud sect also slowly leaned behind Lin Haoyang and the others. The place where Lin Haoyang and others have walked, demonic beasts has been cleaned up, and the pressure on the people of Qingyunzong will be greatly reduced. Those who can cultivate into the foundation building are not fools. Seeing that this method is very effective, there are more and more foundation building cultivators gathered behind Lin Haoyang 7. Gradually, the cultivators of the Azure Cloud sect gradually converged into a triangle shape, inserted into the Spirit Stone's mine. Lin Haoyang and others took the most pressure, and they were somewhat difficult to resist. As the crowd shrank, more demonic beasts attacked them. At this moment, there were 5 Tier 3 top-grade demonic beasts and 6 low-grade demonic beasts attacked at the same time. The 11 Tier 3 demonic beasts also made Lin Haoyang feel a little weak. If it weren't for Lin Xuanjia's Tier 3 top-grade formation, they would have long been unable to hold on. Haoyang, a large number of sect fellow Taoists gathered behind us. It is better to invite 2 foundation building masters to ease our pressure. Bai Qingyan said. Lin Haoyang frowned and thought for a while, then said. It's okay, but the content of formation doesn't contain too many people, and it can accommodate up to 3 people. You guys try to invite strong people. Bai Qingyan nodded, looked at the people behind Qingyunzong, searched for a while, and said. Li Menglong, Zhu Lin, and Pang Jia are 3 fellow Taoists. How about entering the formation and waiting for me to attack demonic beasts? The 3 people named by Bai Qingyan are all very famous in the Golden Core cultivator of Qingyunzong. Among them, Li Menglong and Zhu Lin are already on the 9th floor of the foundation building, and Pang Jia is also a master at the 8th floor of the foundation building. With the help of these 3, the pressure on Lin Haoyang and others will also be greatly reduced. At this point, the 3 also have their own friends. If they leave the own team, the danger of their friends will increase by 3 points. However, the current situation is unfavorable. Without Lin Haoyang and the others, it would be difficult for them to get to the Spirit Stone's mine. The Golden Core cultivator and Qingyunzong have fallen behind. If even the foundation building cultivator can't be compared, I am afraid that the Spirit Stone's mine this time will be missed by the Qingyunzong. The strength of the Lin family has long been spread in the Azure Cloud sect, especially Lin Haoyang, where the deeds of beheading Ma Fengyu by surpassing the ranks are still circulated. In addition, the strength of the others in the formation was not weak, making the 3 of them a little moved. The 3 of them glanced at each other, and they all stood up and flew into the formation of Lin Haoyang and others. Seeing this, Lin Xuanjia cracked a hole in the formation so that the 3 of them could come in. After the 3 of them entered the formation, Lin Xuanjia hurriedly closed the formation. During this time, Lin Xuanjia had been urging the formation to block the attacks of many demonic beasts, and he was already weak. Seeing the 3 people fall into the formation, Lin Haoyang said. 3. This wave of demonic beasts should be the last wave of demonic beasts that blocked us. As long as we pass through, we will be able to reach the Spirit Stone's mine first in the Dry Fire Pavilion. Li Menglong and others are also old and spicy people, and then nodded, too. The three of us will stop a tier 3 top-grade demonic beasts for you. I am afraid that the rest will be handed over to you. Lin Haoyang nodded, then turned around and said. There were 3 fellow Taoist shots to stop 3 tier 3 demonic beasts. The father-in-law could stop 1, and 2 fellow Taoists Lu Shukun and Ma Jing stopped 3 tier 3 demonic beasts. Qing Yun and Zan Lan stopped the other 3 demonic beasts. When I kill the 3rd tier blue-eyed viper, it's time to break the game. Quote. The trio of Li Menglong frowned slightly. Even if they wanted to kill the tier 3 demonic beasts, they would not be able to do it all at once, but Lin Haoyang was so confident that they felt that Lin Haoyang was still a little arrogant. Lin Haoyang's ability to kill Ma Fengyu also relied on tier 4 magical charms. As for its true combat power, the 3 of them had never seen it. But seeing that no one objected, they had to find their opponents so that Lin Haoyang had a chance to shoot. Just after everyone stopped their opponents, Lin Haoyang finally confronted this tier 3 top-grade blue-eyed viper alone. 23%. Chapter 137 The Fall of Lu Shukun. The blue-eyed viper itself is highly venomous, but his most powerful is the pair of eyes, which has a bewitching effect and loses his soul, which is difficult for ordinary cultivators to resist. Lin Haoyang's soul is already profound due to his cultivation technique. When Lin Haoyang looks into the eyes of the blue-eyed viper, his head sinks, and there are waves of ghosts in his eyes. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes and said a bad cry in secret. He had to underestimate the eyes of the blue-eyed viper. Lin Haoyang bit the tip of his tongue violently, and he was able to get rid of the influence of the blue-eyed viper's eyes. During the previous battle, the eyes of the blue-eyed viper didn't show his power. Now that he is alone, Lin Haoyang still feels very strenuous. It would be even more difficult to face the blue-eyed viper in another person. Lin Haoyang's soul-fixing technique naturally restrains the blue-eyed viper's eyes. As soon as he got rid of the influence of the eyes of the blue-eyed viper, the huge mouth of the blue-eyed viper had already come straight to Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang tapped the storage bag, and the 8 trigrams copper plate flew out of the storage bag, and the 8 trigrams copper plate grew in the wind, turning into a copper wall to block Lin Haoyang. This 8 trigrams copper plate is a 3rd-order high-grade defense magical item that Lin Haoyang has recently refined. Since Shuyang Mountain and his party, he has deeply felt the lack of his own magical item. In addition, he does not lack spirit stones on his body now, so he refined this copper plate. This copper plate comes from the magical item. It was originally called Chenkin 8 trigrams plate. It contains 5 elements secrets, which can block 5 elements attacks. It is also considered the best in the 3rd-order top-grade magical item. At this moment, the blue-eyed viper hit the 8 trigrams copper plate, but it seemed to hit a stone wall, unable to break the defense of the copper plate at all. Seeing that the own attack had no effect on the copper plate, the blue-eyed viper opened its mouth and spit out, spraying a large cloud of poisonous mist at Lin Haoyang. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang just grinned. Lin Haoyang repeatedly pinched the technique. The 8 trigrams copper plate turned, and a water dragon shot out from the copper plate, dispelling the attack of the blue-eyed viper. Seeing how powerful the copper plate was, the blue-eyed viper was already timid, and its 2 best methods had no effect on Lin Haoyang, and it would be futile to fight again. The blue-eyed viper wanted to escape, but Lin Haoyang would give him a chance. The 8 trigrams copper plate turned again, and vines with the thickness of arms grew on the ground, entwining the blue-eyed viper. These vines are only summoned by the 8 trigrams copper plate, and they are not very tough. But for a while with the vines blocking, Lin Haoyang's Yuanzun sword had already flown out. As fast as a gust of wind, the blue-eyed viper didn't react, and Lin Haoyang's head had already been decapitated. After killing the blue-eyed viper, Lin Haoyang slapped the storage bag and put away the entire blue-eyed viper. The value of the 3rd-tier top-grade demonic beasts is not low, especially the blue-eyed viper, which is even more valuable. How could Lin Haoyang let go of such benefits? Lin Haoyang's killing of the blue-eyed viper was like moving clouds and flowing water. There was no difficulty at all, and the 3 of Li Menglong were dumbfounded. As soon as he killed the blue-eyed viper, Lin Haoyang went straight to Pang Jia. Pang Jia was only on the 8th floor of the foundation building. Although he was facing the weakest tier 3 demonic beasts, he was already at a disadvantage. The most urgent. What Pang Jia was facing was a tier 3 high-grade giant argali, and the giant horned argali leaned on its huge double horns, forcing Pang Jia to retreat steadily. Just as the giant horned argali once again knocked Pang Jia into the air, Long Yuan descended from the sky and plunged straight into the argali's horns. Feeling the crisis, with a kick on the hind legs, Lin Haoyang grinned when he came straight towards Long Yuanjian. If the sacrifice is the Zunyuan sword, Lin Haoyang's strike might be difficult to make meritorious deeds. The Argali's horns are so hard that it is difficult to hurt it even if it is a third-tier top-grade magical item. But Long Yuan is a tier 4 magical item. When Long Yuan hit the corner of the Argali, Long Yuan was not knocked away. Instead, it was a corner of the Argali, which was directly cut off by the dragon sword and fell to the ground. Frightened by the power of the dragon abyss sword, the giant horned Argali tried to escape, and a cold light was shot from the dragon abyss. At such a close distance, the Argali could not react. The cold light shot into his eyes and ended his life. It turned out that Lin Haoyang hit another flying needle on the side of Long Yuan's sword. This flying sword's technique of hiding flying needles once again made his opponent suffer. On the side, Pang Jia swallowed his saliva secretly. Lin Haoyang was able to kill Argali too fast. With just one blow, he killed the tier 3 top-grade demonic beasts that had put him down. If he faced Lin Haoyang, he would probably not be able to make a quick move. Pang Jia shuddered and decided not to be an enemy of the Lin family. Lin Haoyang patted the storage bag and put the body of the giant Argali into the storage bag again. As for the corner cut off by Long Yuan, it was given to Pang Jia. Pang Jia still wanted to resign, but Lin Haoyang couldn't tell, he had gone straight to the two women. Pang Jia glanced blankly at the broken corner in his hand, sighed and put it away. Pang Jia freed his hand to help Li Menglong, Zhu Lin, and Bai Zonkang deal with the remaining 3 tier 3 top-grade demonic beasts. When Lin Haoyang rushed to Lin Xuanlin and Bai Qingyun's side, he saw that the two girls were about to resolve the battle, and the 2 tier 3 middle-grade demonic beasts had fallen into defeat. At this moment, Lin Xuanjia's voice came. Haoyang, go and rescue Lu Shukun, he can't hold it anymore. Lin Haoyang suddenly turned his head and looked at Lu Shukun and Ma Jingde. Seeing that Lu Shukun was facing a tier 3 middle-grade cat monster. Originally, Lu Shukun's cultivation base was used. Even if he couldn't fight against this cat monster, he could still delay 1 or 2 times. As long as others free their hands, they can help him solve the battle. However, since the demonic beast's Chao Lu family was broken, Lu Shukun was already dead, his vitality was severely injured, and he could not live for a few years. It just happened to meet the Lin family to form an alliance, and then he was able to support the remains to transport the spiritual rice. As for this call, Lu's family originally didn't plan to let Lu Shukun come, but Lu Shukun said that he didn't have much time to live, so it was better to accept the call of Qingyunzong. After dying in the battle with demonic beasts, Qingyunzong will also give out foundation building pills for comfort. The Lu family will not decline, and it can be regarded as playing his remaining warmth. On the way, Lu Shukun was holding on, barely following the crowd to kill here, until he faced this third-tier middle-grade cat demon alone. Finally, his body wounds broke out, and his cultivator on the 7th floor of the foundation building was hit by a third-tier middle-grade cat monster, and was immediately severely injured. The cat demon claws, his intestines broken open. Ma Jingde and Lin Xuanjia saw this, and immediately protected Lu Shukun before letting him die under the hands of the cat demon. However, Ma Jingde was also incapable of facing 2 tier 3 mid-level demonic beasts. At this moment, Lin Haoyang finally freed his hands, and Lin Xuanjia asked Lin Haoyang for help. Seeing Lu Shukun's tragic situation, Lin Haoyang was furious, and seeing the cat demon break through Ma Jingde's protection, he went straight to Lu Shukun. Lin Haoyang didn't care about anything else, and hit the cat demon with a soul fixation, and the dragon yuan sword in his hand flew out in an instant. After being hit by the soul-setting technique, the demon cat immediately suffered colic in his brain, and then fell into confusion. The pain is unknown, and before the demon cat wakes up, the long yuan sword has already flown. With a slash in the middle, the cat demon was cut into 2 quarters, killing his life in Yellow Springs. The tier 3 mid-level demonic beasts, who was trembling with Ma Jingde, saw Lin Haoyang repeatedly killing enemies. At the same time, Lin Xuanlin and Bai Qingyun also offered methods to kill the 2 demonic beasts. The 3 tier 3 demonic beasts who fought with Li Menglong saw that the situation was gone, and fled one after another. Lin Haoyang rushed to Lu Shukun's side. Seeing that Lu Shukun had been forced to Qi Si Dantian, his intestines and bowels were flowing all over the floor, but he was still hanging. Seeing Lin Haoyang, Lu Shukun supported. Hand over my relic to Shiwen. From now on, the Lu family, please fellow Taoist, take care of 1 or 2. After talking about the last wish, Lu Shukun's heart was not there, and Lu Shukun finally swallowed his breath, and his soul returned to the west. 23%. Chapter 138 Tier 5 Arctic Fox. As soon as Lu Shukun died, everyone felt sad. Although the two previous families had some sorrows, with the union of the four, the sorrows disappeared completely. Especially when he heard that Lu's family was breached and suffered heavy losses, Lin Haoyang was also very sad. Now that Lu Shukun has passed away, Lu's strength may also be greatly reduced. Although the Azure Cloud sect will later give the foundation building Dan for the compensation, but the Lu family is now in the blue. Even if there is the foundation building Dan, I am afraid that the probability of being able to get out of the foundation building is extremely low. Lin Haoyang collected Lu Shukun's relics, put them in a storage bag, and then shot a real fire to burn Lu Shukun, who was not a man, and put his ashes in a jade box. Soon, he will have the same relic sent back. There were also two elderly people, Bai Zonkang and Ma Jingde, especially Bai Zonkang. After fighting for decades, they finally let go of their grievances when they were old. Unexpectedly, they left like this without having a good life. After dealing with Lu Shukun's funeral, everyone continued to kill the Spirit Stone's mine. Although Lu Shukun was damaged in the previous battle, the Azure Cloud sect had completely broken the defense of the demonic beast's army in Below Ocean. With all the human resources, it took an hour for the Azure Cloud sect to kill 10 miles away from the Spirit Stone's mine. In the Dry Fire Pavilion, although there are 5 cultivators on the 9th floor of the foundation building to open the way, because there is no formation division behind, the speed is not as fast as the Qingyunzong crowd. The situation on the 9th floor of the foundation building of the Dry Fire Pavilion is not good. If the Azure Cloud sect is allowed to rush down like this, I am afraid that the ownership of the Spirit Stone's mine will still be said. Qian Mo, the 9th floor cultivator of foundation building, led by Qianwo Pavilion, suddenly showed a magic talisman in his hand, but after offering it, Qian Mo lit up a burst of flames. Qian Mo pinched the magic formula, the magic talisman flew out, suddenly turned into a sea of flames, and rushed straight ahead. Wherever the sea of fire passed, demonic beasts, rocks, weeds and old trees were all burned to ashes. A magic talisman burned a way for the cultivator of the Dry Fire Pavilion, and a magic talisman allowed the cultivator of the Dry Fire Pavilion to enter the Azure Cloud sect, and also rushed 10 miles away from the Spirit Stone's mine. However, the power of the magic talisman played by the Dry Fire Pavilion was so powerful that it was impossible to cover it. King Lin Haoyang looked at the monstrous flames coming from the direction of the Dry Fire Pavilion. Secretly Anja's tongue. This Qianwo Pavilion person, really rich and powerful, the 4th order magic talisman, actually used to open the way. Li Menglong looked even more ugly when he saw the fire. Because of the lack of high-level combat power, they were not given tier 4 magical charms, but used to equip the Golden Core Cultivator. If it weren't for the sharp knife of the Lin family, I'm afraid the Azure Cloud sect would be tricked far behind. At that time, the Spirit Stone's mine, Azure Cloud sect could only look at the other party to divide it up. The distance of 10 miles also allowed Lin Haoyang and others to see the Golden Core cultivators' fighting method. There are 8 golden cores on the Qingyunzong side, and 10 golden core cultivators on the Dry Fire Pavilion. On the demonic beast side, in addition to the 4 tier 4 demonic beasts, there is also a white fox, which is particularly conspicuous. Its size is not very large, but the power that it exudes has shocked Lin Haoyang. It seems that this white fox is a tier 5 demonic beast that flees here. 4 demonic beasts of tier 4, the weakest one is the blue-eyed viper that has just advanced. After the blue-eyed viper advances to tier 4, his binocular supernatural powers are even more bizarre. At this moment, Song Ziwen and Lin Qianlong are fighting each other. The other 3 tier 4 demonic beasts, no one expected, were all tier 4 top grades, extremely powerful. In the end, Li Muxian and Wang Xiaoyang worked together to entangle one. The other 2 were entangled by the 5 golden cores of the Dry Fire Pavilion. Unexpected changes have allowed Qianwoj and Qingyunzong to cooperate in a subtle way. In this situation, if that family still wants to swallow it alone, I am afraid that it will be defeated by demonic beasts. Both sides were entangled with half of the crew, and the advantage of Dry Fire Pavilion was also reduced. On Qingyunzong's side, Su Qin, Xian, and Hu Weiwei are all Golden Core late-stage masters. Zhou Zunyuan has been in charge of sect for many years. Although the cultivation base only has 6 levels of Golden Core, he is also rich in magical items. If you really want to fight, it is difficult for Golden Core late stage to help him. On the side of the Dry Fire Pavilion, there are 2 golden cores on the 9th floor, one from the Dry Fire Pavilion, and a helper from the Baixian sect. Except for these 2 people, the remaining 3 are not the opponents of Xian and Hu Weiwei. If it weren't for the unexpected strength of demonic beasts this time, if both of them got up, they would lose out. The two golden cores fend off fox demons attack together. Fox demon is good at charm, is not firm in mind, and dare not step forward. These golden cores are also quite difficult to deal with. Only 3 cultivators of the 9-tier golden core can bring some harm to them. Seeing that the situation is not very optimistic, Zhou Zunyuan shouted. Huang Nanchong. This time things are beyond expectation. You and me, no one can eat this spirit stone's mine alone. If the two companies join forces, they should get rid of these demonic beasts first. Huang Nanchong is the deputy sect leader of the Dry Fire Pavilion, and his strength is already at the 9th level of Golden Core, just like Tian Zhen's status in the past. This time the incident really exceeded Huang Nanchong's expectations. As a result, this Tier 5 Fox Demon had 2 strange talents, and even if he teamed up with the 9th layer of Golden Core of Baixianmen, he was not sure to take it down. At that time, if the Azure Cloud sect withdrew, only their Dry Fire Pavilion would be left on the Beluo Mountain to support it alone. I am afraid it would be a disaster for Dry Fire Pavilion. Secondly, Su Qin's strength somewhat exceeded his expectations. Not long ago, since Su Qin sacrificed a Tier 5 magical item. Tier 5 magical item is extremely precious. Even if it is a nascent soul cultivator, there are only 2 or 3 pieces on the body, and neither it nor the 9th floor of Golden Core of Baixianmen have Tier 5 magical item. Opponent. The Golden Core of Baixianmen is also very depressed. He thought that the magical item in Su Qin's hands was given by Chongshanlu. However, he is also a pioneer of the 6th rank force. Why didn't he give the 5th rank magical item for self-defense? As everyone knows, Su Qin's Tier 5 magical item does not come from the Chongshan Tower, but from his grandfather. The 2 Golden Cores had plans to temporarily postpone the battle, so Lin Haoyang and the Foundation building had to look at them first. Without the nascent soul cultivator to squeeze the Tier 5 demonic beasts, and relying only on the Golden Core to hold them, the Foundation building cultivator would not dare to come closer. If Tier 5 demonic beasts go crazy, it will be difficult for the Golden Core cultivator to stop, and Golden Core can still escape, but their Foundation building, I am afraid they will only have a tragic death. When the battle is still undecided, their Foundation building cultivators can only wait 10 miles away. Although Tier 5 demonic beasts is strong, he is facing 9 Golden Cores, and these 9 are still good players among Golden Cores. Nearly 2 hours, this demonic beasts had already revealed its defeat, and Su Qin found a chance, stabbing a leg with the 5th order flying sword in his hand, and his flexibility was greatly reduced. The demon fox displayed charm and wanted to stop 1 or 2, but was stopped by the 2 Golden Core 9th level masters of the Dry Fire Pavilion. Taking this opportunity, the Golden Core teamed up to attack, and the monster fox who was lost for a while was already scarred. When the demonic beasts of Tier 5 enters Tier 5, his inner alchemy will also undergo some changes. In addition to the increase in power, it can also help the cultivator Golden Core. Although Chongshan Tower is rich in wealth and ranks 6th rank, there are no Tier 5 demonic beasts in sect for a long time. Naturally, this 5-pole inner alchemy is nowhere to be found. When encountering this white fox this time, Su Qin also wanted to take this opportunity to behead it and win its inner alchemy. Su Qin Jing failed once, and the chance of Golden Core again has exceeded 80%. This is also the reason for the attack at any cost. 23%. Chapter 139 Draw. Facing the siege of the 9 people, the white fox glanced at the battle in below ocean. The low-level demonic beasts suffered heavy casualties, and the 4th-tier demonic beasts were also entangled. The white fox knew that the situation was over, and if he had to defend it forcibly, he would probably die here. The 5th order flying sword in Su Qin's hands caused it to suffer. As a result, the white fox roared, and the 4 Tier 4 demonic beasts seemed to be mad, and they madly attacked the 2 Golden Cores. Immediately there were 4 inner alchemy shots, which caught the 2 Golden Cores by surprise. Especially the Dry Fire Pavilion, which was stopped by 3 Golden Core early stage. Tier 4 demonic beasts suddenly shot the inner alchemy. The 3 Golden Cores were unprepared, and the inner alchemy suddenly hit the lower body of a Golden Core. The inner alchemy, like a Tier 4 high-grade magic talisman, was astonishingly powerful. It smashed the Golden Core cultivator's legs into pieces in one fell swoop. Fortunately, at the time of life and death, a Golden Core in the Dry Fire Pavilion pulled him with a rope, otherwise, his legs would not be known if they were broken into meat. Losing his legs, this person's strength was greatly reduced, and he couldn't even fly with the sword. The blow that was ruined by the path made him frustrated, and he couldn't even feel the sharp pain in his legs. When Huang Nanchong saw this, his expression was ashen, and he separated a golden core late stage to help the two of them and dragged the 4th level demonic beasts. Originally, 9 people besieged the White Fox, but now it has become 8 people, and now the battlefield with 4 tier 4 demonic beasts is unfavorable, but it can barely be held back. Seeing his own raid, the White Fox failed to play a big role, and completely no longer had the determination and courage to fight again. The White Fox opened his mouth and shot the inner alchemy, but the object it shot was not Su Qin and other 3 golden core 9-layer cultivators, but Zhou Zunyuan, who was weak in the cultivation base. Zhou Zunyuan's cultivation base has only 6 levels of golden core, and the strength is among the weakest among the crowd. It is also the easiest one for the White Fox to take his surgery. However, with the previous sneak attack of tier 4 demonic beasts, everyone had already prepared for it, and they were sure that the White Fox would attack Zhou Zunyuan. Xian and Hu Weiwei, 2 golden core masters on the 8th level, when the White Fox spit out their inner alchemy, they used secret methods and came to Zhou Zunyuan. The 3 of them sacrificed a tier 3 high-grade defense magical item, 2 shields in 1 minute, and this was able to withstand the blow of the White Fox's inner alchemy. But forcibly taking this strike, the 3 of them all felt their energy and blood fluctuate, and received some emotional intelligence. Seeing that everyone had already taken precautions, the White Fox opened his mouth and sucked, trying to take back his own inner alchemy. But where would Su Qin and Huang Nanchong give him a chance? Without the threat of the inner alchemy, the 3 men attacked it fiercely. For a while, the White Fox was wounded again, and the white fur was mostly bloodied. After all, the White Fox is a tier 5 demonic beast, breaking through the protection of the 3 and regaining its own inner alchemy. With the inner alchemy, the White Fox is constantly absorbing spirit power, and the combat power is also stronger by 3 points. Seeing that his sneak attack was ineffective, the White Fox was a little anxious for a while. In a hurry, the White Fox rushed to the crowd like crazy, got rid of the 9th layer chase of the 3 golden cores of Su and Qin, and went straight out of the Baluo mountain. Obviously, this tier 5 fox demon not only gave up this spirit stone's mine, but also the tier 4 demonic beasts he had under his control. The tier 5 demonic beasts wanted to escape, and Su Qin and the others would find it difficult to stop. If the White Fox chooses to smash with them, Su Qin is sure to work with everyone to take it. But now that the White Fox wants to escape, Su Qin can't help it. The tier 5 demonic beasts was extremely fast, and it didn't take long to escape the range of Bilawashan, just glanced at the crowd for a while, and rushed towards the wilderness. The White Fox fled, and the remaining tier 4 demonic beasts were also panicked. Without tier 5 demonic beasts, they were completely slaughtered by the 2 cultivators. As soon as the 4 tier 4 demonic beasts wanted to escape, they were suppressed by Su Qin and others who had been slowed down. In less than a stick of incense, all 4 tier 4 demonic beasts were killed by 2 golden cores. With 2 inner alchemy, Qingyunzong can refine 2 foundation building alchemy pills. With 2 foundation building alchemy, this time the loss of the Blue Mountain can also be issued as a foundation building alchemy. Otherwise, like the Lu family, the foundation building cultivator who died in battle for sect, if sect did not send the foundation building Dan to be a sympathy, then this family will soon decline. More than that, sect foundation building has broken its heritage, and there will be no more sect disciples fighting for the benefit of sect. They will only become selfish, thinking about the 1/3 acre of land. Such a sect, which is not in harmony, cannot last at all. These sects who are alive now do not rely on strict rules and fairness to survive. After solving the 4 tier 4 demonic beasts, there is no obstacle to occupying Bilawashan, but the 2 cultivators did not act rashly. Although there is no obstacle from demonic beasts, there is still a big battle for the interests of the 2 cases. If there are no 2 6th rank forces to intervene, then neither of them has enough strength to swallow this medium-sized spirit stone's mine. The medium-sized spirit stone's mine is able to attract tier 5 demonic beasts. If there is no nascent soul cultivator, I am afraid it will not be able to hold it. Then the 2 will only develop jointly. But now that there are 2 6th rank forces to intervene, there is no need to worry about missing nascent soul repairs. As long as they successfully seize the ownership of the Spirit Stone's mine, the 2 6th rank forces can send nascent soul cultivators to suppress it. After all, the annual output of 50,000 Spirit Stones is not a small number. As soon as demonic beasts left, the cultivators of Qianwozhe and Qingyunzong once again fought each other. Because of demonic beasts, they both saw the strength of each other. Originally, Dry Fire Pavilion had the upper hand, but in the previous battle, a golden core cultivator in Dry Fire Pavilion lost his legs and had no combat power. In this way, the original 8 to 10 has become 8 to 9, but there is also a Su Qin in Qingyunzong who has a tier 5 magical item, so Qianwo Pavilion dare not do it easily. Lin Haoyang also saw the current situation. Originally, the two agreed that whoever occupied the Spirit Stone's mine first would belong to this Spirit Stone's mine. However, because demonic beasts were too powerful, the two cultivators had to join forces against the enemy. Although they repelled the enemy, the situation is now stable. Tier 4 and Tier 5 demonic beasts were all lost, leaving only less than 50 Tier 3 demonic beasts. It's not that these Tier 3 demonic beasts don't want to escape, but the two cultivators have surrounded the entire Blue Mountain. These Tier 3 demonic beasts have no way to escape. Waiting for them, there is only a dead end. Originally, there was the Golden Core Cultivator here. These Tier 3 demonic beasts were of no use at all. They were only slaughtered, but because of the interests between the two cases, these demonic beasts could breathe a sigh of relief. At this moment, Zhou Zunyuan, who took a breath, stood up and looked at the humanity of Dry Fire Pavilion. Huang, fellow Taoist, I am afraid you and I have never expected this situation now. Huang Nanchong also came to the front of the people in the Dry Fire Pavilion and said, "Oh, the world is unpredictable. If we hadn't lost one person, I'm afraid we would really have to fight for it today. Now if we fight for this one and both lose, I am afraid that the next wasteland reclamation season will not be possible for both of us to escape." Lin Haoyang stood aside. He knew that this situation might have ended in a tie. Sure enough, Huang Nanchong and Zhou Zunyuan looked at each other and said at the same time. Then, draw, 23%, chapter 140. Although neither of the two nascent soul cultivators are here, as far as the current situation is concerned, if the two sides don't want to die, they can only choose this way. Draws are developed by the two at the same time. I am afraid that the last thing I want to see is the two 6th rank forces, a medium-sized Spirit Stones mine, and the annual output of Spirit Stones is about 50,000 Spirit Stones. If Qingyunzong and Chongshanlu alone occupy this Spirit Stones mine, there will be an income of 25,000 Spirit Stones every year. Even nascent soul would be very tempted by such an income. But once the 4 companies share the accounts, one family can only get a little more than 10,000 Spirit Stones. Coupled with the investment of manpower, I am afraid that the annual Spirit Stones earned are less than 10,000 Spirit Stones. In addition, the construction of the Spirit Stones mine, the cultivation of spiritual veins, and the construction of the mountain protection formation is also a big investment. Therefore, both Xian and Su Qin's expressions were not very good, and they didn't ask for much benefit after using so much strength. But as far as this is concerned, they have nothing to say. Draw is the only solution at present. Since the two temporarily ceased fighting, Lin Haoyang and these foundation-building cultivators also breathed a sigh of relief. As for the remaining 50-odd Tier 3 demonic beasts, naturally they did not need to take action. The Golden Core cultivators would take action by themselves. All of them will be killed. Not many of these Golden Core cultivators are afraid that foundation building will not be able to solve it, but Sect needs this batch of demonic beasts. This time Sect drew so many foundation building cultivators and killed nearly a dozen foundation building cultivators. Each foundation building will give out a reward of 1,000 Spirit Stones, and 90 or so foundation buildings are more than 90,000 Spirit Stones. The foundation building who died in battle will give me 2,000 Spirit Stones, plus 1 foundation building Dan. After a great battle, the foundation building alone requires nearly 200,000 Spirit Stones, which is not considered a Golden Core state. For the time being, Sect Golden Core, Lin Qianlong, Su Qin, and Xian are not members of Qingyunzong. For this shot, Qingyunji will also issue rewards, and each Golden Core cultivator will have to issue 5,000 Spirit Stones. In this way, 7 or 88, you will need close to 300,000 Spirit Stones. If you want to develop the Spirit Stones mine, you also need to cultivate spiritual veins and build a large formation. Although the 4 companies are jointly developing, each one also needs to invest close to 100,000 Spirit Stones. Just a Blue Mountain, the Azure Cloud sect would have to invest 400,000 Spirit Stones at once. Although the Azure Cloud sect is the 5th rank power, it is still a bit difficult to get 400,000 Spirit Stones out at once. Fortunately, 2 Tier 4 demonic beasts and more than 20 Tier 3 demonic beasts were killed this time. 2 demonic beasts' inner pill can be used to refine 2 foundation building pill. Except for the comforting, there should be 3 or 4 left. More than 20 Tier 3 demonic beasts should be worth 100,000 spirit stones. 2 Tier 4 The materials of demonic beasts are regarded as rewards for each golden core cultivator. In this way, the Azure Cloud sect can take out another 150,000 spirit stones to fill the holes in the Beluo mountain. The 150,000 spirit stones can still be taken out by the current Azure Cloud sect. Bilawashan developed the spirit stones mine. Naturally, Lin Haoyang and others did not have to worry about it. As they returned to the Qingyunzong gate, they waited for sect to issue rewards. Since Lin Qianlong has been entangled with the Fourth Order Blue-Eyed Viper, Lin Qianlong has the right to choose a piece of material for the Blue-Eyed Viper. Song Ziwen was not polite and chose the most precious snake eye, while Lin Qianlong digs out 4,500 spirit stones, replacing the spine and snake skin of the Blue-Eyed Viper. Currently going to the Snake Mist Valley, Lin Haoyang wanted a flying boat, but one couldn't find the right materials. This time, he captured the Tier 4 Blue-Eyed Viper, which rekindled Lin Haoyang's wish. Lin Haoyang killed a Tier 3 Blue-Eyed Viper. Knowing that the Blue-Eyed Viper was very suitable for crafting flying boats, he asked Lin Qianlong to exchange the Blue-Eyed Viper's spine and snake skin. Lin Qianlong Golden Core has only had a Tier 4 magical item in his hand until now. This is still a Tier 4 low-grade flame sword that he has spent many years of accumulation in exchange for the Azure Cloud sect. The cultivator loves flying sword more, but Lin Qianlong loves the sword alone. He regrets that the blood sword that has followed him for many years has been put on hold because the level of the cultivator cannot keep up with his cultivator. However, what Lin Haoyang said, he was also looking forward to it. If the Lin family could really own a flying boat, they would definitely improve their strength. If anyone goes to war with the Lin family, when you are not ready, a flying boat from the Lin family will parachute to your vicinity and catch you by surprise. If you want a flying boat, you also need to empty spirit stones, which are necessary materials for refining storage bags. The output is small and the price is expensive. Qingyunzong did not vacate the spirit stones mine, so he had to buy a few from the inland every year. It's just that this time the demonic beast's army struck, and the few spirit stones in the Azure Cloud sect's inventory were also used to depict the formation. Now there are no empty spirit stones in the clan. But Lin Haoyang was not in a hurry. His current refining technique had not reached the 4th rank, and he couldn't make a flying boat either. Half a month later, the Spirit Stones reward of the Azure Cloud sect was finally issued, and the rest of the Lin family had already returned to the Lin family to continue the spiritual rice trade. But Lin Haoyang stayed, first to receive the reward, and secondly, on this trip to the Blue Mountains, Lin Haoyang alone killed 2 Tier 3 demonic beasts, 1 Tier 3 middle grade, and the others. Counting things up, this time I harvested more than 20 pieces of Tier 3 materials. With so many materials, Lin Haoyang will of course train it into magical item, so as to realize its maximum value. As for the Lingmi trade, because Lin Shufeng and Lin Shuyun were given the foundation building Dan, they have now also succeeded in the foundation building. They have to thank Lin Qianlong for their success in the foundation building. The qualifications of the two are not too outstanding. They are only 3 spiritual roots cultivators, but Lin Qianlong has been polishing and precipitation, allowing them to stay on the 9th layer of the veins for 8 or 9 years, and the background is already very profound. With foundation building Dan in hand again, the 2 foundation building process went smoothly. The 2 succeeded in foundation building, allowing the Lin family to add 2 more foundation building cultivators. In this way, the Lin family alone will have 10 foundation building cultivators, Golden 1 core cultivator. Today's Lin family has been promoted to the 4th rank force long ago, over 100 years ago, fulfilling the wish of everyone in the Lin family. Lin Haoyang did not make all of the 20-odd Tier 3 magical items. Now Lin Xuancheng is also a Tier 3 refiner. He will send back a part of Tier 3 lower grade and middle grade materials to his family for Lin Xuancheng to refine it. All these materials have been exchanged by Lin Qianlong with contribution points to the family, and Lin Haoyang exchanged them with own contribution points. Therefore, these materials are basically Lin Haoyang. With these materials, Lin Haoyang can practice a lot of magical items. Among this pile of materials, there were 7 top grades, 8 middle grades, and 13 low grades. In the end, Lin Haoyang asked Lin Qianlong to bring back 20 pieces. He now has only 8 pieces left in his hands. Among them, the blue-eyed viper that Lin Haoyang killed, Lin Haoyang only left a pair of fangs. As for the spine and snake skin, Lin Haoyang would leave it to refining the flying boat. The binoculars and snake gall are left for Bai Qingyan to refine medicine pill. The flesh and blood of these third-order demonic beasts alone have sold thousands of spirit stones. This is because the influx of a large amount of demonic beasts materials has been squeezed by 20%. Result. Soon, Lin Haoyang began to refine magical item, these 8 materials. With his current refining technique, there should be no problem. Time passed quietly, and Qingyunzong was busy opening up the spirit stones mine. After the 5th order spiritual vein and the 5th order mountain protection formation were completed, the 4 golden core cultivators were guarded in Below Ocean. Qingyunzong Song Ziwen, Zhongshan Tower was sealed by Yusho, and there were 4 golden cores from Qianwo Pavilion and Baixianmen. In the end, Chongshan Tower and Baixianmen each accounted for 20%, and Qingyunzong and Dry Fire Pavilion each had 30%. This split was due to the fact that the 2 schools had to send low-level cultivators to guard and operate the entire spiritual vein. As long as the Chongshan Tower is guarded by the Golden Core, natural medicines will take up less. Half a year later, the Below Ocean 5th order spiritual veins had not yet been fully cultivated, but Lin Haoyang had left the pass first. But Lin Haoyang had left